perfect. We'll do. Morning, Spotify crew. Nah, morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, the 27th of September. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture, as decided by you wonderful people. The culture. And you know how we roll every morning. Like, as usual, it's brought to you by the best and brightest in the business. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning. Big man Yusuf in the building.
They call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
All right, before we even move anywhere, if you ain't subscribed and you're watching this, I don't understand what you're doing. So just press the button, man. Like, just subscribe. And like it as well. Just like it on your way in. Even if you joined late, if you're going back to the beginning and you see me say this, like the video. Just gets rid of all the confusion at the end, you get what I'm trying to say. But welcome, everybody, all right?
Yeah, man, can't complain.
Same shit, different day, man.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Ready for the world? Ready for world domination?
100%. I think we got a good show today, man.
I feel like we got a good show today, man.
Yeah, man, so I'm looking forward
Obviously,
to it.
trigger warning, Esther's not here. So there's going to be a lot of testosterone in the building. Obviously, you can hopefully balance that out in the chat. You get me? Obviously, mods and that, make sure you look out for misogyny. You know, like these things. No, we're gonna be good, man. It's a good show. Let's get right into it. So we've got a question of the day. Well, every day I said that like that was a surprise. Got a question of the day today. It is: if you could create a supergroup with any musicians, who would be in it?
Wow. That's crazy.
Need some time to think, so.
You don't need time to
First
think?
thing that came to mind for some reason, Bob Marley and Lauryn Hill. I have them too.
Nah, they're probably gonna start chopping, man. It's gonna chemistry. Don't think about chemistry as well. That group ain't gonna last.
Wait, no, she's married to his son.
What? That's because Bob ain't here. Imagine you bring the originals. You got the youth. She'll dash him away.
Oh, you're sick.
It's-
I forget, those Bob Marleys are that's her kid's grandfather.
Bro,
You ain't deep-
overthinking it. You're overthinking.
You ain't deep in the connection. You know what I mean?
I think I'd have me
That group's already starting off bad, but
putting myself me, Tiana Taylor, CeeLo Green, Macy Gray.
that is shit.
What?
That is the shittest group I've ever come across in my life. You, CeeLo Green, Macy Gray, and Tiana Taylor.
Bro.
And what's the name of the group? And what's your sound? What's your sound going to be?
Pseudo R&B.
Terrible group.
At least I tried. Come on, guys.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think, would I put together all rappers or would I put together rappers and a singer?
We need one singer to do the hooks, innit?
Would it be an all R&B group?
Sometimes when you get the best from like certain genres or certain groups, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Super groups and super teams sometimes don't work. Sometimes you got to get pieces that complement each other.
Exactly.
All right, let's just say I'm building a super group. Let me say I need a singer first. I want some soul. Let me Jasmine Sullivan as my singer. Then I need a rapper who would complement Jasmine's sound. Help me out. A rapper that has a bit of...
If it's a super group, how can your favorite rapper not be in there?
No, now it sounds alone, man.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sounds alone, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds alone. About Cole or Kendrick might complement Jasmine well.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, maybe a Cole or Kendrick. Even Kendrick and Cole. Kendrick, Cole, Jasmine.
Who said Westside Boogie? I like Westside Boogie. He's good.
Yeah,
You know?
he's sick, man.
Westside Boogie's good.
Big up Ramsey. He introduced me to him, you know.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's good, man.
He could fit in a super group. He could works good with singers and stuff.
What's that boogie? Who's that? I've heard the name, but I don't think the music comes to mind.
What's he done? He's done a track with Joey Badass. He's got an album. What's the album called? He's good though. It's good. You should check him out. I think you like him as well.
Yeah, I'm not up on his projects and stuff like that, but I've heard a few joints that I like. He's got a joint with Snow Allegra that I like. Bruno Mars.
And a super group.
Praise, this is as super as it gets.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Yo Yo.
Who's SZA?
Yeah.
Bro, if Nas stands alone, what do you think? What do you think about SZA?
Never compare SZA to Nas. They're in the same stature. Come on, man. Come on.
Let's not have our first argument on the show.
Come on.
I think that Drake and
Nicki Minaj, Tiger.
Oh.
Oh no, sorry, that's just Young Money. Sorry, go forget.
I'm thinking Drake, Thames.
Okay.
That'd be a good duo. And let me sprinkle in. Ooh, what could be the third piece? What could be the third piece?
I'm going to go to my phone.
Nah, just Drake and Thames.
That's all you need. Two piece.
That's all I need. Yeah,
Simple. That can work.
Yeah.
That's a duo.
So that's all I need.
We do like a super group, like I was doing a label, like I was bringing Thingy back. I could have Drake. I could take your two piece, Drake and Thames, and add. Shit, I had them. Now they're gone. Future. Cardi B. I had one more. Drake, Thames, Future, Cardi B. I'd have the best label in the world, by the way. I'll be cooking. I need one more. Someone that brings them down a bit. Quavo.
Fair enough.
No, E-Man, you got one yet? Farrakhan.
J Electronica was the closest thing. So. I was thinking, you know what? J Dilla, J Electronica. Either Nas or Jay.
You might as well go Jay-Z, just keep the theme going. Jay
Yeah, for real.
Dilla, J Electronica, Jay-Z.
Yeah. And a singer.
Lil JJ.
I think about going for like a neo soul type group. Like a Lucky Day, Snow Allegra. And I've seen the rapper that fits that mold.
The snow's actually cold, man.
I mean,
What about J Cole?
J. Cole could fit. Yeah. Cole, Allegra, Lucky Day.
I'm also thinking Marvin Gaye, Kanye West. I think the sound might be sick on that one.
Are you going for a genius group? Super group.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye, Lauryn Hill, Kanye West. I need a better rapper though, in addition.
Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, and
You're sick. You're a sicko.
Tory Lanez.
Sounds interesting.
That'd be crazy.
I'm sure there's a more.
They would make some slap. Are you man stupid? All right, we're not even gonna. Maybe one day we'll have topic of the day.
I don't think
not today though.
that ain't a stretch. That's a very plausible statement.
What? They'll make some bangers. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Facts. That's not even a joke. There's a lot of talent under there. Trouble in there.
If you had to make a super group, right, of UK rappers, 3 UK rappers, street rappers, minus yourself, that you actually want to hear a tape from.
Street rappers that I'd want to hear a tape from. in this day and age, someone like, I'll go for that, my kind of rap. Someone like Potter.
Potter's cool.
Potter, Scraps, and who could I add to that?
Nines?
I was thinking that, but him and Scraps, I was basically
Same crew.
yeah, but yeah. But okay, like a version of that, but different. Say like Clavish or something like that. That could work.
Okay.
That could be different.
I think I'll go for Blade. Have to be in there. And just based on the type of beats he raps over. Blade, Old Gigs, and maybe Tef. I know Blade and Tef are in the same group.
Yes.
But yeah,
that can work.
Yeah. If I saw that announcement, I'll be excited.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I was thinking definitely Tef. Definitely Old Gigs. I'd want to put Joe Black in there.
Okay. Like that.
Ooh. To modernize it, Geordie. I put in Geordie.
I like Geordie, you know.
Yeah.
Geordie, Old Gigs, and Tef.
Yeah. A bit of modern thingy.
Geordie stands out too much.
But I feel like certain tracks with him and Tef would shine. Like together on the track, especially if you got the right beat.
I think I can hear him and Tef, but then when Gigs comes on, I think it just,
that's when it will be a bit different. But then you'll have a super producer that will kind of switch up the beat at a certain section. You know what I'm saying?
Now, really think about that. You need a super producer for a super group, Brent. It's only fair.
100%.
Who would be your producer?
My producer?
Yeah. For that group that you named.
Yeah, I said Potter, Scraps, and Clavish. I need...
Mine will be Khan too.
You took it. I was just about to say that.
No, you wasn't.
I swear, my mum's life. I was just about to say Khans because obviously I got proper rappers, and the only person I could think of was Khans because I know.
It has to be Khan. For me, obviously, I got Blade and Tef, so obviously it has to be Khan.
No, but I was actually going to say Khans. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
To be fair, how many others are there? I know there's a few, but he's like
a lot of the producers that I know of.
M1, obviously.
They do like a lot of drill stuff,
yeah.
and then like some of them other ones, they do rap, but it's more like that commercially sound and whatnot. So when I was thinking just like street and road rap, Khans was where I went to instantly. Obviously, I know you could do all of it, but I don't actually know the other ones by name to know who would do it. That's probably why.
Yeah. All right, last one. As you're Mr. R&B, yeah? Allegedly, Mr. R&B.
You know my name?
R&B supergroup consisting of 3 male singers.
Before you go there, let me give you my
Oh, sorry.
Kano, Dave, and Gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just it.
Yeah.
It can work. It can work. Yeah, it's not bad actually. What did you say? 3 rappers?
No, 3 R&B singers.
3 R&B singers, all male.
Yeah, all male.
All right, let's get these men together now.
Oh, just J. Huss and Dave.
That could work. That could work.
That was spinning for days.
All right, R&B singers, 3-piece. All right, I would have. Who works together for me?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, rather than just picking 3 leads, I'm trying to think who, like, maybe, like, who's got the bass, who's got falsetto, who's got, the unique frontman voice.
No, I'm thinking Usher, Mario, and then I need someone. Yeah,
I think Usher and Mario kind of in the same vein.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I need someone with the
Like a deep
yeah. Who's that though? I need like a
Jaheim.
oh yeah, for real. He's got. That's the sign I'm looking in my head to offset all of that. That's exactly the sign I'm looking for. Maybe that could work. Mario, Usher, and Jaheim. They would cook, you know.
I'm thinking about it.
They would cook.
I think they would, you know.
I think they would cook, boys. I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
I think they would.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We'll take a joint effort. We can have that.
There you go. No, not that hand. That's the hand you always put in your balls.
I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even trust you.
It's not even in my balls. It's just down there. So.
Yeah. All right.
All right, cool, man. Let's move on to our headlines, man.
Okay, so our first headline, Donald Trump is back in the news, man. And a court has ruled that Donald Trump committed fraud for years while building the real estate empire that catapulted him to fame and the White House. The judge, Arthur Engoron, found that the former president and his company deceived banks and insurers by massively overhauling assets and exaggerating his net worth on paperwork, which he then used to make deals and secure financing. The judge found that Trump, his company, and key executives repeatedly lied about his wealth on the annual financial statements, resulting in rewards including favorable loan terms and lower insurance premiums. Those tactics crossed the line and violated the law, the judge said, rejecting Trump's argument that a disclaimer on the financial statements absolved him of any wrongdoing. The ruling came after a civil lawsuit brought about by New York's Attorney General Letitia James. Next headline. In fact, the next two headlines are about Suella Braverman, which will be linked to our topic of the day as well, right? So the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has called for a reform of the international asylum system, saying it's no longer fit for purpose. Speaking in Washington, D.C., Ms. Braverman outlined how she believed the current system was outdated. She branded the number of displaced people in the world as an epoch-defining challenge, the same language that the government uses to describe China, by the way, yeah? Uncontrolled and illegal migration is an existential challenge for the political and cultural institutions of the West, she said, adding that uncontrolled immigration, inadequate integration, and a misguided dogma of multiculturalism have proven a toxic combination for Europe over the last few decades. The speech was panned by NGOs, campaigners, and politicians, with Amnesty International saying it was a display of cynicism and xenophobia. Part of her speech criticized how current levels of migration have led to undermining the stability and threatening the security of society in extreme cases. She also said that we're living in the consequences of that failure today. You can see it play out in the streets of cities all over Europe, from Malmo to Paris to Brussels to Leicester. And the last headline, again linked to her, the country's Home Secretary questions the foundation of modern asylum law during a speech in Washington. So like I said, she questioned the United Nations Refugee Convention in a speech in Washington, arguing that simply being gay or a woman should not be by itself grounds for international protection. The British government has made the fight against illegal immigration a priority. With a general election due next year, with the opposition party Labour being widely tipped to win, the ruling Conservative stance against asylum seekers is becoming increasingly hardline. Some Labour politicians claim the Tories are scapegoating vulnerable groups to distract from their own failings in the government, which again we're going to get into, right? But speaking at the American Enterprise Institute, the UK Home Secretary questioned the role of the 1951 Geneva Convention, which defines refugee status. She said it was an incredible achievement for its time, but we now live in a totally different era. The right-winger added that it's up to political leaders to ask themselves whether the convention and the way it's been interpreted by the courts is still fit for modern times. I'm going to do one more quote from her. She said, "Let me be clear, there are vast swaths of the world where it's extremely difficult to be gay or a woman, where individuals are persecuted. It is right that we offer sanctuary, but we will not be able to sustain an asylum system if in effect simply being gay or a woman and fearful of discrimination in your country of origin is sufficient to qualify for protection." So I'm going to end it there, and we're going to get into the topic of the day. So that's it for the headlines. All right, guys. So, but if you don't mind, I can do a poll as well. Yeah, I've sent you a thingy. Right? But yeah, the question basically is, does Suella Braverman have a point, right? Again, we're going to go into some other things that she said here. And I know a lot of people are going to be thinking about the language she's using and stuff like that. And I wanted to obviously definitely consider that, right? But does she have a point? Is the UN 1951 Refugee Convention agreement outdated, right? So she was, again, like I said in the headline, she was talking about how people are kind of not differentiating between discrimination and persecution. Both are bad, right? But we can't take people into the country just for discrimination. So if you're just gay or just a woman or you're fearful of how you're going to be treated in certain situations, that's not grounds for us to take you in the country. Does she have a point, or do you feel like this is just her kind of scapegoating certain groups? Again, we're going to go into more detail, but just on the surface level, what do you guys think?
What groups is she excluding?
She's not excluding any groups in particular, but she's saying that can't just be the only criteria. Like if you're being gay and you're being persecuted, fine. You know what I'm saying? But if you're being gay and you feel like things are kind of tough for you, like anyone can kind of use that as an argument.
Yeah.
There should be a distinction between discrimination and persecution, she's saying. And I think she basically saying over time, the waters have been muddied.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel. I think I kind of agree with her, to be fair. I think I kind of agree. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, it's tough. She's just using it to spread her evil and hateful rhetoric. This is what she just does every day. But there's...
Are we going off the title of the third headline, right?
Well, yeah, the second and third one, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, both of those are linked to it.
I mean, whatever your reasons are for seeking asylum in another country, they do have to be legit and warranted. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I suppose there's something to what she's saying. Like, just being gay is not reason enough.
Is that a good enough? Obviously, it depends how you're being treated for being gay in where you actually live right now. But on the surface level, I don't think it's.
Well, if you're not being persecuted of anything, like obviously, like discrimination and stuff happens all over the world, didn't it? So that's basically like what you man just said, like feeling a certain way or worrying about what might happen because of your sexual orientation or whatever. That's totally different to things actually happening to you because of it.
That's what I mean. If things are happening to you, fair enough. If you're just worried about how this might, impact you later on down the line or what people are going to say or do to you, and you're basically fleeing before anything has occurred, then I think the first option is far more plausible.
Especially if you feel like, well, obviously I'm assuming here, you feel like the resources are kind of limited to kind of allow all these people to come in.
Yeah, that as well. Of course, that's all taken into account, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, if resources are limited and we got to basically, I don't want to say pick and choose the best candidates, but the candidates who have the best reasons and justifications over the ones who we deem, unworthy. I put in quotation marks.
I'm gonna present both sides of the argument, right? But she's basically saying multiculturalism has failed, right? She said it's because pretty much migration has allowed people to come into society, right, and just live parallel lives to it. So there's no real effort to integrate into society. And what tends to happen is that kind of can create some friction here and there, right? And then you kind of get these groups against these groups. When really in this society, in the ideal world, everyone should kind of see themselves as one. And because people don't, for whatever reason, you get situations like you get in Paris, where there's rioting every day and there's, there's conflict against the authorities and this, that, and the third, and other groups as well. She's also basically saying, like I said, the 1951 UN Refugee Convention, like, it's just outdated, right? She was saying it was designed back then to stop refugees going back to their home countries where their lives or their freedoms are at threat, right? But another part of that argument is also that, again, obviously, I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but I'm kind of quoting what a Tory MP said. He said, asylum shopping. So you've come from a certain country, and yes, you may be gay and you may feel like your life is under threat, right? You can't live free as you should as a human being, right? But you've gone past certain countries before you got to the UK. So you've chosen to go to the UK because you feel like in the UK you're going to get better treatment, maybe from the welfare system and things of that nature. When if you're coming from the East, for example, let's say, because again, sorry to jump it all about, but I think what they're saying is that the top 3 countries where people are coming, especially for reasons to do with being gay and things of that nature, or women or whatever, is Nigeria, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. So if you come from Bangladesh and Pakistan, you've got to go past Spain, France, you've got to go past all of Europe before you get to the UK. Like, why is it that you're going to the UK? Why don't you choose those countries if this is really just about being safe and being away from Pakistan and Bangladesh?
But you can still flee a bad situation and choose the best option for yourself. Like, you might deem the UK the best option for whatever your reasons are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The UK might have, you know, better branding, better marketing, so it's more appealing to you. I don't see anything wrong with that, with choosing your destination.
No, but if you was fleeing because of a safety issue,
Yeah. No, but what if you felt that you'd be the safest, whatever the reasons, I can't make them up in it, but for whatever reason you feel like you'd be the safest in the UK, then like, aren't you allowed to choose? So you're telling me what, you meant to just go to the next country, which is the closest proximity to you?
If it's safe, yeah.
Yeah, if it's safe, but you don't know it's safe. And you might know the UK safe, right?
It's a good point.
You may not know the Spain safe, but you may know from your knowledge, speaking to people, you might have relatives, whoever, friends, just from the media, you might feel like, you know what, the UK is the safest place for people. No?
I mean, I hear you. I definitely hear you. I definitely feel like, though, like, the majority of these people coming out taking the piss, man. You get what I'm trying to say? I ain't got the numbers in front of me, so I don't know. And obviously, we're never gonna get like the real numbers like that anyway. But I would assume the majority of the people that come here are doing shopping and lifestyle, basically. Like, I ain't got the numbers, it's just an opinion. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the media why I formed it like that. But from the way I see things, I would reckon it would be a smaller percentage of people who come here seeking asylum actually need it. I reckon a lot of people are pulling up here because this is a good country to be. This is a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be the welfare state, like just everything.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Are you talking to people who their reasons are unjust then?
I don't want to say that unjust, because obviously everybody should want to. It's the world's ours to live on, innit? Like, and everybody should be allowed to want to better themselves and put themselves in a situation. I'm saying, like, I can't see the majority of the cases being people that are like being persecuted and run down and tough. I'm assuming this is going to be a smaller portion. Obviously, people are saying whatever they're saying to get over here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people here just want to set up shop here because it's just better to be here. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that side of things as well. If you're saying the majority of people are just coming over here because they want a better life for themselves and they're not actually fleeing anything, in terms of like they're not really fleeing for their safety or whatever, then cool. But if they are fleeing for their safety and they choose to double up, let me kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me flee for my safety, but also set up life in an affluent country and start fresh. Right?
Yeah, but I don't know how it works. I don't know how many people like they can actually take on board before things start getting out of hand, innit? And obviously, yeah, it is your own choice. It is your own right. If you want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, if I'm going to move, I might as well move to the best resident there. But at the same time, this is everybody's cross to bear. Like, we got to spread. You get me? Like, we got to spread the help, innit? So like, why are you going past France, Spain, Germany? Like, they are modern day. They're fine. Like, them countries are calm. You get what I'm trying to say?
Because they have a preference.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't you allowed to have a preference? Just because I'm fleeing danger, I can't have a preference.
You know, the thing is,
I think you can. No?
I hear where you're coming from.
I hear you guys' side of things, innit? But I don't see why you can't choose where you want to go. No?
do you know the thing is, I think it's because of how we're made to feel that people are, their situation is when they're fleeing.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm kind of saying it like, say you're fleeing this house, for example, it's on fire. You've literally just got like boxer shorts on.
Yeah.
And you're running down the street, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying, okay, you know what? I know there's a mansion at the very end of my road.
Yeah.
But there's other houses along the way.
Yeah.
And you know that if you get to a particular house,
Yeah.
that's where you're going to get sanctuary.
Yeah.
but then you're prepared to leave that place in your boxes and run 2 miles down the road, as opposed to get help in the houses that are closest to you, that have space, right? Rather than, like I said, going 2 miles down the road to a house where there's a queue outside, people trying to get into this mansion.
But if that person has that resilience and that determination to run the 2 miles and bypass these other houses because they see that as the bigger goal for them, then what's the problem?
Exactly. But then that mean that your intention has changed. This ain't about safety. This is about your want to be in a mansion.
Exactly.
Which is you're allowed to, I suppose.
No, that's what I said. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm fleeing, but let me flee to the best place possible.
But then should we kind of, 1 second caller, should we kind of, is it not fair for us to kind of understand where the owner of the mansion says, you know what, wait a minute, guys. Like, I can't accommodate all of you here. And I know you've gone past all these other houses there.
100%. I get that as well. But the guy who owns the mansion also knows why they're here. I have 100%. The mansion and you just ran past a couple bungalows. I get why you ran past the bungalows to come to my joint because it's the best. So I understand why they're here. But at the same time, I'm like, please, I can't accommodate everyone. Yeah. Can you please spread out? But I get why everyone's come to me.
Come in there, yeah. All right, cool. We'll come back to that. Good morning, caller.
You have to call back.
Oh. So okay. So everyone was kind of up in arms when Priti Patel and obviously Suella Braverman said, you know, they want to send people to Rwanda. So in that same situation, if now this mansion owner is saying, you know, I need to send you guys back to those bungalows, is that person racist? Is that, granted, you can be racist for other, you know what I mean, reasons, but does that person have a right to now send you away?
If I can't accommodate you, if I can't accommodate everyone in my mansion, then I have the right to say some of you guys have to leave because I ain't got the space, the resources to take all of you on.
Okay. Good morning, caller.
Hey guys, Blackrock. How you doing?
All good, all good. How are you?
You know?
Good. I think, do you know, I think it's a common misconception that there's no now. But I don't blame people for thinking. I think there's a common misconception that the influx of migrants is a detriment to that British society, because if you actually looked at the numbers, like UK birth rates declining, there's certain jobs that don't get filled unless you get an influx of like all the data goes towards the fact that migration is a net positive, and the amount that's coming in isn't substantial enough to affect the economy. But because of the narrative that's being painted by obviously the Conservative Party, that have an agenda against migration, because the agenda against migration is to use as a Trojan horse, so that whenever there's stuff that they're doing wrong, they can always use xenophobia as the battering ram to galvanize the working class to find because you need a common enemy when you're the actual villain. So it's I don't like, I understand everyone's talking points, but I'm kind of like, I won't say I'm disappointed, but like sometimes I think we hear something enough times, we start thinking it to be true when there's no data to back it. Migration is a net positive for the most part, and the data backs it up.
Okay, so
if you look at the birth rate, it's declining. Do you know what I mean? If you look at, there's like bare stats I can draw up now. I didn't have all of it, but there's bare stats that align to the fact that maybe some of the reasons why these migrants are coming here is because obviously better quality of life, but it's not actually like. And if you look at the claimants of what do you call it, benefits and all that stuff, it's predominantly like the people that abuse it the most is probably actually white working class British people from rural areas.
I mean, one could argue if somebody is going to abuse it, what happened?
It should be the natives.
Huh? It should be. You know what I'm saying?
To be fair.
You know what I'm saying? It may sound bad.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But you get what I'm trying to say. Why is somebody coming to my house eating all my food and you didn't pay for it?
Even if the numbers are skewed and immigration ain't as big a problem like that yet, I still see it and notice it yet. I've never even been to Australia yet, but I see the way that they handle themselves and the way that they pattern up their borders. And I know you can't go over there if you ain't bringing nothing to the table. Like, they just don't want riffraff and all these things there. Like, they're in control of what's going on. And I don't see no problem with that. Me growing up in the areas that I've grew up in and living in the places that I've lived in, I've seen people in this country just here. Just taking advantage, just taking advantage of the place. Like, and I don't want to sound like one of them native right-wing white people like that, but like the stuff that they're moaning about, I've seen it firsthand. You know what I'm trying to say? People that
got
can come here
response to
with the
that. I got response to
housing, with the healthcare, can't speak a lick of English, don't give a shit about nothing. They're just here. Once they get here, they're pattern. They're making their brethren pull up and And I'm not saying the country can't sustain it because they're doing all right. But at some point, something's got to give. You know what I'm trying to say? That. So I don't feel like, obviously, using immigration right here to, like I said, push your hateful and racist narratives is never, like, obviously, it's a dodgy road to walk down, isn't it? Because they're going to put sense in their nonsense, in it, like, you know what I'm trying to say? But there's something to it. Like, you can't be onto people who just don't want to just open up the borders to just everybody willy-nilly and just make them just come and take it.
I'm
At
not
the end of
saying,
the day,
I'm not,
the people
I agree with
paying
you. I'm
for
not
it.
saying open the borders. Yeah. I'm not saying open the borders to everyone, but I'm saying that it's actually a Trojan horse. So like the stuff that they're saying, like, our healthcare is under pressure because of migrants. That's a lie. Do you know why it's a lie? Because if you look at the amount of our government spending that has been provided to healthcare has reduced over years because they're trying to make it inefficient so that they have the public on side, so that when they privatize it, they're justified in it. So it's actually the reduction in in government spending in the healthcare system is actually more directly correlated to why the healthcare is going to shit rather than migrants. But they'll use migrants as I said, as Trojan horse, because that's the way to galvanize people to say it's two birds, one stone. You can say, oh, the healthcare system shit, let's privatize it. You can also say, oh, it's the migrants, that's why we get them across the board. So I'm not. So you may have anecdotal evidence in your life of migrants like gaming the system, but on a macro level, it is not. It's not actually. There's not, the basis ain't there. The real problem is if you really wanted to help this, you tax the people that are you close the tax loopholes. I liken it to. Do you know what I liken it to? I liken it to. Do you know when they say, "Oh, we want to help in the environment, so bags are 10p." Every bag that's 10p. If you all the bags that are 10p. If you stopped one private jet flying, that would equate to like millions of 10p bags. But they're not going to do that. So we have to. So it's just a bullshit narrative. Do you know what I mean?
But okay, I hear what you're saying, right? But a lot of the time, if something's wrong, we tend to do another wrong in the hope that, it kind of make things right. Now, we know that private jets, for whatever reason, they may be useful, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain progressions in life, technology that we need, right? That I think a lot of the time we kind of underestimate their value. But that aside, what do you say to those who say, okay, but right now there's a backlog. There's a backlog of asylum seekers in this country. And right now, the only place to put them is into hotels. They've even started putting them on barges. That shows you how there's like literally no space, right? This is what they're saying. And we who are working like 9 to 5, whatever it may be, right? Plus overtime, are paying for this. And in addition to that, we're also allowing the criminal gangs, which created a business of getting people from point A to point B, right? Allowing them to thrive. What about all of these things that also come along with this migration thing? What would you say to that?
Well, if you formalize the process and actually allow people to come in and then actually process them properly, then the black trade ceases to exist. Suella Braverman actually creates the black trade by the black market by all this Rwanda bullshit and all that type of stuff. So what you need to do is that it's kind of like what I do agree with Australia is that whole point system thing. We're bringing people in based off of like a lot of. If anything, there's a lot of working class jobs that the British natives don't want to do because there's a sense of entitlement that an immigrant doesn't have when they're like, I'll pick strawberries in the. Do you know what I mean? So if you bring people in, even low skilled workers in, but you bring them in based off of what the country needs, then you can actually process them. But you actually what happened is the reverse happened when Brexit happened. Do you know the first people that they kicked out was like people that were like undergraduate university students that were like, do you know, like the people that are actually like considered going to be high skilled workers in the next couple of years. So people that were university students that were doing university courses and stuff like that, that were migrants. They kicked a lot of them out because there was no more like Erasmus program and all that type of stuff. So the people that you would consider the model immigrants were actually the ones getting kicked out. And it was the so-called I don't even want to use the terminology,
I know
but
what you mean, yeah.
So yeah, they actually did the opposite of what they wanted to do just to massage the figures.
No, but
then what is it really about if they're just trying to kick people out regardless of who they are, as long as they're migrants? What is it really about?
Doesn't that kind of prove their point? Because really, if they could keep the very best, they would keep the very best. But they've had to get rid of the ones who came.
No, they didn't have to. They did it. They chose to.
Yeah, but they're doing it and they're telling you that they had to, right? So let's just assume this is correct. So they're getting rid of the ones who are actually educated, have got the money, and came to do uni and this, that, and the third. Which shows that, wait a minute, if we had the space for the ones who were actually going to contribute to society, we'll keep them. But instead, because because safety is not an issue for them, they took a normal British Airways flight to come here, right? Safety is not an issue for them, right? We've had to get rid of them to accommodate those who safety is a real issue for them. So the ones who may not necessarily contribute to society. So we're keeping those. Doesn't that prove their point?
It's not. So you're saying that the government took an altruistic position that didn't benefit them. Is that what you're saying?
Potentially.
Come on, man. Hey, man, you're come on, man. You're too smart, and he's also quite cynical, like I am. But to even think that even makes sense.
No, but Blackwell, remember.
They made an altruistic decision that didn't benefit them. Why would they do that?
Don't you think? What is asylum? What is asylum?
Asylum is plugging the holes that the demographic in the country don't want to. It's the America. Do you know America? They let a certain amount of Mexicans cross the border because they know that in the South, none of these people want to cross the berries or whatever they want to do. And they let them go back to the border back home afterwards.
Yeah, but but it's also
it's not altruistic, bro. Like, who's gonna do the menial jobs when the locals don't want to do it because they
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, yeah, especially when people, like most people who listen to the show, yeah, are going to be people from our backgrounds, right? So most people are going to, kind of sympathize with the migrants who are coming in, this, that, and the third. So obviously, we need to hear the other side of the argument, and this is why I'm presenting to you. And so my thing is, again, if do you agree that there are limited resources in this country?
Yes, but not for the reasons that's been pushed to us.
Okay, so reasons aside,
and I'd want to say that there's always a correlation between economic prosperity and xenophobia. When we're in the economic downturn, the government goes, "Oh shit, we're not doing well. Let's point the finger at the foreigners." When everything's up, they're like, "Ah, it's cool. Everything's calm." So they know that. It's just like when you're in trouble, you need to find a common enemy so that people won't see the problems that you're causing.
But it isn't again, it's kind of like what Yusuf was saying before. Like, even though you're leaving a very dire situation, you kind of have a preference, right?
Of course.
It isn't, if you flip it around, a similar type of situation where it's like, cool, yes, there's a problem in front of me, but I'm allowed to have a preference on who I can blame, because at the end of the day, all of these issues kind of contribute to the overall problem. So yes, some problems are harder to fix than others. So maybe allow me to pick the easiest one to fix. Doesn't the government have a right to do that? Especially as the citizens of the country may be suffering. Isn't it just the same thing, but the other way around?
Yeah, but as I said, it's not. We present it as more of a problem than it is when there's bigger problems. But this one is the one that can easily galvanize the base and turn away. Like if there's a scale of problems, there's 1 and there's 10. This is lower down, but they know that if they bring this higher up, then it will get people to not focus on the real problem. As I said, first thing, first thing I'll do, cut the loopholes in for the top percent so they can get tax breaks. I'll probably get murdered straight away, but then it would probably create more money for the general public, and we could plug so many gaps in the government finances, blah blah blah, by just cutting those loopholes. But then by cutting those loopholes, whoever's in power will probably get off straight away. You're messing with the top percent, but that's the real problem. But they don't talk about it. Classism is the bigger issue than any of these things. But if you want to start talking about that, that's when you start getting to murkier waters. Chase the money and you don't know where you're going to go. So then let's talk about racism, because that's a little bit easier to go after.
Okay, I hear you. All right, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Cheers, guys.
All right, so I'm seeing in the chat a lot of people are upset with presenting the Tory or Suella Braverman argument. If you guys have a chance, please call up in it so you can make your views known. But like I was saying to Black Rob, right? If it is a situation where resources are tough, right, or limited or whatever it may be, doesn't a government have a right to kind of choose who they want? You know what I'm saying? Or do you feel like it should be a situation where, cool, like Black Rob was saying, there's a list of problems, pick the most important one and stop scapegoating other groups?
Hello?
Good morning, good morning.
No, what's going on? It's Ramsey. You look good?
Yes,
What's
Ramsey,
going on,
we're
Ramsey?
saying, good?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. Man, you're moving mad out there, fam.
Talk to me, man. What's going on?
You're moving mad. All right. So,
Tell me why.
Oh, you just sound crazy. Because you're saying we have limited resources, but this is based on a government that's been defunding mostly everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've been crumbling the NHS. They've been taking away money from councils. They've been taking away money from extracurricular activities for kids. They've been stealing money everywhere, right? But then the first thing we should talk about is not allowing refugees to come into the country because of the limited resources that they've made.
But isn't what you're saying proving the point that they're limiting the amount of money that goes to councils, that goes to these other places that you're saying, because they don't have the money to let the money go. They don't have the money to put there. You know what I'm saying? So isn't that proving the point?
No, they do. No, they do.
So what are they doing with the money?
The first person they can blame.
Every country should have limited resources. Every country should have a limited amount
That's
of
a
money
good
that they
point.
can
Exactly.
spend.
That's a good point.
What I'm trying to say is the limited resources that they got should go on the citizens regardless. You know what I'm trying to say? So you can't talk about, oh, you're saying they got limited resources, but they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this, to saying that they got extra. Or whatever extra they got should be for the natives of the country. Anyway.
But they're not doing that.
Exactly. But you can't, so because they're not doing that, so the fight needs to be for us to get more initially. That needs to be the initial fight, not for everybody else.
Cool, that's a point. But the whole thing with the Geneva Convention started all because of World War, right?
Yeah.
When the countries are leaving, when they're leaving their state of war, which, by the way, we funded, so most of these countries that are fleeing wars, i.e., I don't know, Afghanistan, which we had a direct hand in through Tony Blair, we destroyed their country. Do we not have, or I'm saying as a country, not us as people, obviously, individually, but does the country not have any moral grounds to offer them reparations?
You see, when you're, I'm glad you started that, because now we can present the other side, right? You have a good point there. Like, is that something that takes precedence here? Whereas the situation where we know the UK has contributed to the instability of other nations. And so really...
Contribute is a small word, by the way.
Okay, all right. So even stronger word, right? We know the UK has been instrumental in that, right? Is it not like them causing this in the first place? If, for example, you didn't mess up certain countries, if you didn't go and poke your nose in other people's business, they'll be fine in their countries. So I have a right to come to this country. Plus I speak English because you colonized my country. So I'm going to use the same English to come here.
Yeah, if the UK is directly involved in some kind of war, you're directly involved in me being displaced from my country, then I definitely got a right to come and seek asylum in yours.
Okay.
100%.
How far does that go back, though? Does that go back all the way to colonial times? Or does that go back to more the 90s with Afghanistan and you know what I'm saying, from the 90s onwards?
I mean, I don't know how long it lasts, but if I'm directly feeling the effects today of something you've not done, I don't care how long ago it was. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How long ago
and bear in mind that Britain had its hand on most of the atrocities around the world, if not all.
100%. That's white people, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess so. I'm talking about Britain, innit? So when we're talking about Britain, they've had the direct link with everything. Even in countries as Israel and Palestine, it was Lord Balfour who initiated everything to do with Palestine. Was a British man. Yeah? So we know the atrocities that they had, and we know, we just know how shit the monarchy is, the government is. So I think the least we can do is offer a refugee that genuinely needs to come to this country, seek an asylum, help. But then the funny thing is that I don't think anyone's mentioned Ukraine. Because obviously I get what Margs is saying, because Margs is saying, no, we got limited resources, so why are we taking care of... Why basically charity starts at home is Margs' point, which I understand. Cool. Very good point. But when it came to the white people that were getting displaced, they were getting... They're like, yeah, no, my home's opened up but when it's anyone when it's anyone that's not white, they're bugging out.
Suella Braverman is trying this thing because the Tory government have got nothing else to back up. So then they started the trans argument, and now they bring up some bullshit about a convention that we signed due to a war that we started. She wants to challenge the Geneva Convention, which makes no sense. It's all fucking dumb. This whole rhetoric is stupid as shit.
But don't you think...
Sorry,
go on.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, don't you think that certain laws do need updating, though? Because maybe at the time...
You're moving the goalpost, man.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking. Because, like, don't laws need updating all the time? Like, we do it in regular life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have certain requirements before people get entry today, but maybe the climate and everything's changed in 20 years' time. Like, is it right that you should be bound by that same thing 20 years earlier?
In its entirety, no, you can't do that. Because if you're dealing with a family and say all of us can't contribute the same thing to a country, but it's none of our fault that we're in a country that's been destroyed.
Yeah.
So if you've got one guy who's a doctor who has a family of 5 or whatever, he should be deemed more acceptable into the country than someone who didn't have the money to go to school. No, he's got kids, the other guy's got kids. So we all share the same moral integrity to take care of a family. It's about taking care of life. If you're talking about updating the laws, if something random, I don't know, if a shoplifter is doing something, then yeah, if we're talking arbitrary, you know what I mean? Like, it's what you're saying is a complete red herring, bruv.
So, for example, you know when she was talking about, because obviously you're talking about a lot of situations where people are fleeing war and stuff, right? As far as
because that's what she brought up. She brought up the Geneva Convention. She said the Geneva Convention is outdated.
Yeah, but she's talking about refugee, the asylum thing, right? And that thing,
which was from the Geneva Convention. Refugees seeking asylum is them running away from war. They're running away from problems.
No,
we're not talking about regular immigrants.
It's not just war. It's basically, again, it states, right? It states if, for example, your life or your freedom is basically threatened. That's what it talks about. And this is why I think, well, I don't want to speak for her, but this is what she's basically saying, that we need to update it. So if for example, she's agreeing with you, Ramsey, right? And she says, you know what, let's limit it to war, would you be happy with that?
No.
Okay, so really the argument that means nothing. You really want it to be very broad. It's not just, because right now you're arguing for the war angle, right? But really you want it to be very broad. You want it to be a situation where it remains the same, where as long as you feel as though your life or your freedom is threatened, you should be able to come here. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let me see exactly what she's talking about. Is she mentioning the Geneva Conventions?
Yes, 1951 UN Refugee Convention. That's the one specifically she's talking about.
Right. See, me and you are arguing different things then. I'm talking about Geneva Conventions. I think she's brought up something else.
No. Then that means you're talking about the wrong thing, because she's talking about the 1951
Yeah, exactly.
UN. Yeah. Okay. So she's saying basically...
I misheard and thought she was talking about the Geneva Convention.
Okay.
Which was birthed from World War.
Yeah.
After the World War, the Second World War.
Yeah.
This was made for refugees seeking shelter and help from war.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether she's muddied the waters between the two, but if you're talking about refugees and asylum seekers, that's usually in tandem with the Geneva Conventions.
Yeah, but she's not talking about that. She's literally talking about the one that it's a post-war agreement. So it was in 1951, and she's basically talking about that specifically, where that particular convention came together and it was designed to stop refugees from going back to their home countries where their lives or their freedoms were at threat. That's the main thing. And let me read to you what
please.
Yeah, let me read to you what the definition basically. So basically, there needs to be a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. Right? So that will make you kind of qualify according to this 1951 convention. Right? Let me read it again to you, yeah? Well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. So
what obligations do the countries have after signing that agreement?
What do you mean?
So you're saying if they sign that agreement, what's the obligation? What are you?
Yeah, they have to take them in.
I
guess you have to take them in. If those people can prove that to be the situation, then you pretty much have to take them in. So I think she's basically saying it's too broad. I think she's basically saying it's too broad, and this is why again she mentioned the whole thing about you can't come here if the only issue is that you're gay or you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or you're being fearful of being discriminated against. So she's basically saying there needs to be more to it. So we need to tweak this particular law so that it's updated and countries can pretty much, accommodate the people. Otherwise, we may just get loads and loads and loads of people. Does that change anything?
If we're talking about, if it's a threat to life, our natural instinct is to survive. So I think, if you're going to countries like Uganda where it's illegal to be gay, then your natural instinct is to flee and seek refuge.
Sorry, say that again?
So I said, if you're from a country like Uganda, where it's illegal to be gay, and you need to flee and say that the other language you speak may be English, then you either come to here or wherever else in the United Kingdom, then they should be allowed to do that.
If a refugee came to you, right, and said to you, Ramsey, I come from X country, my first language is Portuguese, right? And they came to the UK, and they I don't know, they made a life for themselves and whatever it may be, and they're saying, you know what, I am a refugee. I'm not against migrants coming here because obviously I was a migrant myself, you know what I'm saying? But I don't fully understand how somebody who's really fearful of their life or their freedoms chooses to go all the way to the UK when there's other countries. You know what I'm saying? What would you say to that person who was in that similar type of boat? Would you say that they're selfish? Would you say, like, what would be your position?
Well, so the said Portuguese guy in this example came here out of choice, and now he's questioning why someone else is coming here out of choice.
Exactly. But he's come out of choice, and he's kind of he's basically recognized that he's being honest. He's saying I did choose. I don't even speak English, but I thought this was the best thing for me. But I don't necessarily think that if I was in a situation where my safety was at risk, I would come all the way to the UK. I would go to the nearest country. Do you get where I'm coming from? So he's basically saying, I came here and had to learn English. So when you're saying to me that this particular person, yes, they're fleeing their country for genuine reasons, but because they speak English, should travel 9,000 miles all the way to the UK, surely half the journey is adequate because they'll have to learn a new language. Like I learned a new language when I first came here. What would you say to that person who has that view?
If he came to the country through choice and the other person's come to the country through safety, then I'll probably tell him to shut the fuck up.
All right, cool.
Because he's chatting shit. My bigger question is why you come into a country where the economy is crumbling and the cost of living crisis is real and there's been 12 years of austerity. Personally, I would say you're making the wrong fucking choice coming here.
Oh, that's what you would say to the refugee?
Yeah. Okay. This is shit. You're coming into shit. We don't take care of the people who suffer. You're better off going to France where they actually help with childcare. This place, my whole reason of them not coming here is we're in shit. So it's a whole different. It's not. I don't want any blacks and Muslims here. It's also to do with we're in shit right now. I wouldn't come here for you.
Okay. I hear you. So long story short, to kind of wrap up, yeah. Do you feel as though she's just be honest though, like try and be objective here? Do you feel like she's just a bona fide racist? Or do you feel like, wait, or you feel like, you know what, she does have a point, but her racism is showing way too much and I can't agree with her because I don't agree with racists?
She's tackling the wrong thing. Okay. And yeah, there is a part of that. If your intentions have always been racism and your intentions have always been wrong, then you need to look at why they're saying stuff. She's just a monster. She's ugly. She's a monster. She's just wrong. So when she's saying stuff, the human mole rat she is, you can't take what she's saying objectively because you know that her intentions from what she said in the past, as well as the group she stands with, you can't look at it objectively.
Yeah.
Well, not.
That's what they did to Eman, innit?
Say that again.
All the time.
I didn't hear what you said.
Don't worry.
Oh, sorry. I hear you, Ramsey. I hear you. Makes sense, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Cool, man.
All right, love.
I hate Cruella, but I think everybody hates her so much here that like I think like the arguments gets lost because I don't understand like even like the conversation that we're having now. Like, what is it? Are we saying open the borders so anybody who feels like it can just pull up? You get what I'm trying to say, or not? Because if that's not what we're saying, then we're saying a similar thing. Because the argument, I don't think the arguments close the borders. Everybody knows migration has its place and all these kind of things. You know what I'm trying to say? That they just want more control over it. The problem is the controls that they're looking for and the things that they're going to use are going to push their racist narratives and stuff like that. But at the same time, we do need control over our borders. So if the argument that everybody's making ain't, no, we don't need no control, let anybody who wants to come here, yeah, then the argument ain't really about migration, immigration, and that kind of stuff. It's about the messenger and whether people can get on board with the messenger or not. It's got nothing to do with the message. It's just whether people want to made to be seen to support Suella Braverman or not, kind of thing. Because I think everybody understands that we do need some semblance of control. Then what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
It's just what are we talking about? The level of control we want?
I think it's more the level and the reasons why. And I mean, is it discrimination? How open are you being to taking on certain types of people? I think it more speaks to that. Because obviously you need control, but how are you choosing who comes in? What's your process?
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
And also, I think what exacerbated that is the whole Rwanda thing as well.
Yeah.
It seemed super harsh.
Yeah.
You come here and then we flight straight away. Again, I don't think anyone here kind of doubts that Suella Braverman is a crazy individual in terms of her views about certain races and stuff. Like, but she did. And the reason why I say this is because listen to what she said. She might be saying it as a joke, but we obviously know there's some truth here. She said her dream is to be on the front page of the Telegraph with a plane taking off to Rwanda. When you say stuff like that and you laugh about it, right, it just makes people, like, their blood boil. You know what I'm saying? It just makes us feel as though, wait a minute, there must be something untoward here. Like, you just hate people, or you just hate people who don't look like your husband. You know what I'm saying? Because why is it that you're behaving like this? Why are you not sensitive to certain people's problems? And the reality is, like what you were saying, because if Labour was in power, we already know Labour would have to do something about this. Because yes, Labour may attack from a different angle. So, for example, there was a shadow secretary that was speaking in the interview, and she said that she thinks the Tories are just looking for other people to blame. She said there's basically been, on their part, a failure to go after criminal gangs, right? People were upset about me because I used the word criminal gangs. When a Labour person uses it, maybe it sounds better to them, I don't know. But they also said a failure to stop dangerous boat crossings increasing, and also the use of the expensive hotels and because they failed to all these angles, now they're just blaming the migrants. But really, if you sorted out the backlog, if you sorted out the boat crossings situation, if you sorted out the criminal gangs and targeted them and not the innocent people who really need help, we wouldn't really be having this discussion. Does she have a point? You know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Because why put your resources just to... It's kind of what we were talking about the other day about prevention and really having a real solution. Like, what should take more precedence? Should it be you preventing all these things from occurring in the first place, or should it be a situation where you're not sorting out the real crux of the matter, which is that there are problems with the asylum system right now, but you're not fixing it, and you know you need to. You're just blaming other people. It's like basically saying, look, there's a leak in my house, and you're blaming the fact that you have good running water instead of sorting out the leak. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. And another point as well, yeah, that is when I was listening to these people have this back and forth, there was a woman from Nigeria, I believe her name was Aderonke Apata, right? And she was basically, yeah.
Right.
She that's right. she was basically saying that she had to flee Nigeria because she was gay. She was a lesbian, right? And so she's like, look, at the end of the day, they can't tell me I'm not being persecuted. Like, to kind of tell me, oh, you know what, this is just discrimination, when in reality, if I feel targeted in my community, I can't go to the police because the police will be against me. Surely that's persecution. I need to flee the country to be myself. Yeah. And also, if you factor in the fact that the penal code in Nigeria is inherited from the Brits who came here and colonized us. The crime of being gay wasn't a Nigerian thing. It was a British thing. You brought your law here, and now I'm suffering because of your law and your presence in Nigeria. So really, it's your fault. So I should come to your country. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Oh, that's a word.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just the other side of the argument that, you know what I mean, that is also important to kind of put in there. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But last thing I did want to say is, do you feel like her being so crazy and outrageous like this is maybe a good thing for the left? Because if she is this crazy and people disagree with her vehemently, right, surely they just won't vote for the Tories and then we'll get Labour in next election. Shouldn't people kind of be happy that she's this crazy? Because it kind of does the opposite effect, potentially.
Does it deter you?
Me?
Yes.
From what? Voting Tory? I don't vote Tory.
You haven't voted Tory.
She's just doing the conservative. She's just doing the conservatives bidding, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and at the end of the day, she's basically their mouthpiece, and like the things that the messages that they want to get across, they couldn't make a white person go out there and say that. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Good point.
Because there'll be uproar, it'll be crazy, innit? So they're making Suella do it.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily believe the majority of the people in this country disagree with anything she says. That's what I believe. I don't think so. You're saying like it's good for the left. It's not necessarily like she's giving them a voice, and this is what they're on. I think it's the minority of people that disagree with the things that Suella says. I think the majority of the people in this country are rocking with her, and if the Conservatives don't get back in power, it's not going to be because of immigration, because of their racist rhetoric and all this stuff that they're doing. It's going to be because of the state of the economy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's have it right. So I don't know.
Do you guys talk about the whole Dominic Samuels thing? Sorry, I'm Michael. Sorry to introduce myself.
Yeah.
I was just jumping in, like, I couldn't help it.
Are you the guest?
I'm the guest,
yeah.
bro.
Oh.
Yeah. You thought some random dude.
No, I thought maybe someone that is your friend or something.
No, not at all, man. I was invited.
Okay.
I was looking for the crib for ages. But
Okay.
no, I'm Michael. I'm a tech CEO. Came down just to talk about whatever you lot want to talk about, basically, innit? But
Who did you say, sorry?
about Dominic Samuels. So she's the kind of British Candace Owens. And essentially, she wrote a lot of articles for like Daily Mail about how Notting Hill Carnival was trash, whatever. Turns out she was getting paid to be the face of the article, but she didn't write them. So essentially, Daily Mail and all these British magazines and newspapers are essentially saying, we've got all these right-wing opinions, basically like Suella Braverman, but we need an ethnic minority to be the face of it, basically. So it's not just in politics, it's in media as well, where they're going to try and say, like, we can't be seen to be saying this, but you can be the plausible deniability. So we can't say, oh, it's not racist.
I ain't seen this girl in my life.
You never seen her, Dominic Samuels. She's basically like Candace Owens.
Yeah, you see it with Lin May sometimes.
She flip-flopped the other day, didn't she?
Yeah, so she basically come out and snitched on herself and said, like, a lot of this stuff I didn't even write. A lot of stuff I wrote about Meghan Markle I didn't write.
Wow.
So yeah,
What is the English thing, yeah?
Yeah, she's English. Yeah, she's trying to be like.
Is she from like Manchester or something?
Yeah, she's up from up
Yeah,
north.
up north.
Yeah, but yeah, you lot just reminded me because I was hearing basically what she was saying, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess we can move on, man. From there.
All right, then let's get into headlines.
All right, so our next headline, Joe Biden's back in the news, man. And on Tuesday, he joined the picket line with striking auto workers in Michigan, supporting their call for a 40% pay rise and saying that they deserve a lot more than they're getting. So Biden's appearance, the first visit by a US president to striking workers in modern history, comes a day before Donald Trump, the Republican frontrunner for president, will speak to auto workers in Michigan. The rare back-to-back events highlight the importance of union support in 2024 presidential election, even though some unions, I guess, represent a tiny fraction of the US workers. So the Democrat Biden, like I said, traveled to Belleville in Michigan, parts distribution center owned by General Motors, and joined dozens of picketers outside. He said companies were in trouble. Now they're doing incredibly well. And guess what? You should be doing incredibly well too. So he also told them basically stick with it. You know what I'm saying? He was referring to a 2009 government bailout of US automakers that included wage cuts. He also said you deserve what you've earned, and you've earned a hell of a lot more than what you're getting paid now. Asked if he supported the 40% increase the union had asked for, the figure that mirrors CEO pay increases over the 4 years, Biden said, yes, I think they should be able to bargain for that. Next headline takes us to Nigeria, where the new central bank governor, Olayemi Cardoso, said on Tuesday that his top priority was to clear the bank's backlog of unsettled foreign exchange obligations to local lenders, which he estimated to be as high as $7 billion. The Senate unanimously approved Cardoso's nomination as central bank governor after he appeared before lawmakers to answer questions. 4 new deputy governors were also confirmed. Cardoso pledged to improve transparency, fix corporate governance, and restore diminished confidence in the autonomy and integrity of the central bank. The president, Bola Tinubu, had promised a thorough house cleaning of monetary policy at his inauguration in May after criticizing the former governor, Godwin Emefiele, and his handling of the currency. Cardoso said that once the central bank has verified the extent of its obligations, it will need to find a way to settle them quickly. And the last headline takes us to Thailand, where an activist and lawyer made famous for his open calls for reform of Thailand's powerful monarchy was on Tuesday sentenced to 4 years in prison for royal insults. So human rights lawyer Arnold Nampa, who's 39, is widely known for his taboo-breaking speech during pro-democracy protests in 2020, during which he called for a public debate on the role of Thailand's king. And he obviously denies any wrongdoing. The law shields the palace from criticism, Thailand's law, right? Shields the palace from criticism and carries a maximum jail sentence of 15 years for each perceived insult of the monarchy, a punishment widely condemned by international rights groups as extreme. Anand was a leader of a youth-led democracy movement that held protests in Bangkok in 2020 that led or drew hundreds of thousands of people demanding the removal of the royalist former prime minister who seized power in a coup. And that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
All right, let's get into People's Journal.
All right, people. Welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. So there is only 2 points that I kind of wanted to mention here. The first one, I'm not going to lie, is annoying, man. And yeah, it's annoying. It's Sadiq Khan is back at it again.
That's what yesterday. This is about the...
Yes.
Yeah. I was fuming.
This is ridiculous. But for those who don't know, again, it's not been certified. TfL is still looking into it and all that type of stuff. But apparently what they're saying is motorists could be charged up to £4 to use the Blackwall Tunnel.
And the Silvertown Tunnel
when it's built. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The new one that they're building, they're going to charge
Yes.
for.
The one that they're disturbing my life with. Right next to my house.
I thought they was building a new one because they're going to charge for the Blackwall Tunnel.
Both.
It says both in the article.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's rude.
Yeah, so the draft, and this is from official documents, by the way. Yeah. It's not been confirmed, but it is from official documents. So the draft TfL signs indicate that the new tolls for car crossings will be put in place from 2025. But TfL insists that no final decision has been made on the new levies yet, right? So the Transport Secretary, Mark Harper, has approved the request from TfL to install these road signs. So I understand.
It's approved then.
You know what I'm saying?
Brother Hive about to be chock-a-block, bro.
Ridiculous. But yeah, man, currently the Blackwall tunnels are free to use, as I'm assuming everyone knows. However, like Yusuf was saying, the drivers could face a new toll for the Blackwall Tunnel and for the Silvertown Tunnel, which opens in 2 years' time. The Silvertown Tunnel links Silvertown to the Greenwich Peninsula in East London, right? And yeah, it's going to be a 4-lane tunnel. And like I said, it's going to be open in 2025.
Also, from Silvertown to Greenwich?
Yeah.
Also, the charge is each way.
Yeah.
You don't pay. It's not like for the day.
Yeah.
Go in there, you pay. Coming back, you pay.
Yeah. Like the Dartford one.
Basically, yeah.
Sounds like you man are regretting the vote for Sadiq.
Yeah. They were not even. But yeah, man. So what they're saying is motorcyclists could be paying up to £3, car drivers up to £4, and other vehicles up to £8.50. So that's the first thing.
People just should not do it and just use the bridges.
Yeah, but that's going to cause massive congestion and traffic, bro. It's going to be mad. Everyone's going to be getting towards Tower Bridge and Rotherhithe.
That's why you got to force them to make the change. They're going to say this ain't sustainable. Everybody's going to be getting late to work. The ambulances can't cut through. They're going to take the prices away. If people refuse to use the tunnel and use the bridges.
Oh yeah, no, facts.
Yeah,
everyone is
gonna,
but you know that's not going to happen though, because there's
Exactly.
people that
It's gonna be
are going to pay.
Yeah,
there's people that are going to pay.
Yeah.
Who have the money, who don't really care, who the convenience trumps their.
Say it. I'm people. I'm those people.
I can't afford that.
we don't have that French mindset over here where it's just like we refuse, we strike, we burn this thing down. We're very compliant over here. Complain and then we just get on with it.
I was thinking that earlier when you said something, when you said like if we don't do certain things, then you have a situation like what's happening in France where they're rioting all the time. Yeah. And I was thinking, nah.
It won't happen there.
Like you can't use that. Like they're rioting all the time over there because they don't have the bullshit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and if other people was on what they was on and weren't having their bullshit, they'll be rioting everywhere.
Yeah, but you want to run down the Extinction Rebellion people?
I want to what?
You want to run them down?
Yeah, but they're not rioting. I respect badness.
They're disrupting service.
It's not disrupting, not my kind of disruption.
But I think it depends on the cause, no? What's it called? Extinction Rebellion?
Yeah.
What's the cause again?
Saving the world?
Yeah, climate change.
Saving the world, bro. That's a big cause.
No, I'm asking you, do you care? Don't laugh.
Do I care about the world being saved?
I'm asking, do you care about their cause?
Yeah, I care about their cause.
Oh, I'm just
No, he
making sure.
doesn't.
What? Their cause is the world.
Each time we talk about it, you put him in donut here.
That's because
And you encourage people to pelt pennies at them.
That's because I don't like their tactics.
Yeah, I was gonna say he isn't. Yeah, so you don't like what they're doing.
Imagine.
I
You
like
don't
the
like the
mess-
disruption.
I like the message. I don't like the messenger. It's just like the Suella Braverman thing.
Some people think they're paid opposition, you know? That they're paid opposition, that they're actually being paid by the oil companies to make the whole climate change movement look bad because they're actually probably getting more people against the kind of cause than they are for it. And then there was an article where one Donny went undercover and got in basically, and he was basically saying how a lot of them were just in it for the fame. A lot of them were like, they enjoyed the fact that they were on the papers, that the you know what I'm saying, the TV was there, and do you know what I mean? And it stopped becoming about actually what the mission is.
Right, man. If they blew up one of them buildings or something like that, I'd respect.
Shit.
Oh, sorry, actually. Sorry.
Come on, man.
That's
What I wanted.
I was
I want
joking.
people
I didn't-
Entertainment, guys.
Entertainment.
Purely
people.
entertainment.
I want people to protest and pick it outside the Blackwall Tunnel. Just block it. Just block it.
Do you know what that will do to my life? won't be able to move.
No, I mean when
When you're not busy.
No, I mean when the toll comes into play. I mean,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool.
'Cause no, when the toll comes into play, I'm avoiding the Blackwall Tunnel. If I have to use it, then fair enough. But £8 a trip?
It's ridiculous.
That's
It's
bonkers.
ridiculous.
No, come on.
All right. Well, the last thing I wanted to mention is basically we did kind of touch on the whole sit down between the WGA, which is the Writers Guild of America, basically the whole strike standoff in America with the writers and the actors, right? And basically, the Hollywood film and TV writers are going to be going back to work, man, after 150 days on strike in a dispute over pay, staffing levels, and the emergence of AI. So yeah, we're going to be talking about AI later.
Okay, that's my bag.
But yeah, pretty much they've sat down, and in a post on social media, the union said that they've reached a tentative agreement with AMPTP, right, which is the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, and its negotiating committee as well, had now voted unanimously to recommend it. So that's what the situation is now, and basically the strike ends at 12:01 a.m. on Wednesday, man. So it's pretty much over.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So exactly. So the agreement means most minimum pay will be increased by 5%, then 4% next year, and 3.5% in 2025 as well. This also including that is also residual payments, basically when writers continue to make more money for their work when shows are aired on TV or sold on streaming services, all that type of stuff that they weren't really getting their due thingy before. Sometimes, these studios obviously put some of these shows on time. Like Esther was saying the other day as well, they kind of strategically do it so that the cut-off where you would gain monetarily, like they would stop showing it at that point, and obviously just try and, fleece these people. But yeah, you've sat down and it's good to see that they've come to an agreement, and hopefully the union members are actually genuinely happy with this, and things can kind of go back to normal. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
I'm not sure you mentioned. You mentioned that the tunnel is the charges from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh no, I didn't know the time. 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
After
Wow,
10,
the
man.
whole day.
The whole day, basically. Yeah.
Oh, this man's a thief, I'm telling you. I've been telling you people. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you, yeah.
So what are you saying then?
I don't know.
Stand on it, bro. Who you vote for? Who you vote for next? And stand on it, man.
You know what the thing is? What's the black brother? Bailey.
Sean Bailey, yeah.
I would have voted for him because he was trying to get rid of council tax.
Okay.
He was trying to get rid of the ULEZ thing. That practically benefits all of us, I think, right?
These are the things that I'm invested in.
You know what I'm saying?
But they made him the fall guy for like the COVID
They did,
parties.
yes, they
They
did,
were like, yeah, it was
exactly.
him.
Yeah,
It's black bro. That
exactly.
was it. Like,
This is
you
it.
had to step down basically.
Yeah. It's a
Because
shame,
I'm
man.
lucky my car's not ULEZ. If not, I'll be finished.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
live in the whole ULEZ zone.
All of us do now.
Every time I go to
you know they
the
expanded
gym
it.
or go shopping, I'm paying ULEZ.
Yep, 100%. Because you know it's all of London now. All of Greater London now.
Oh, it's all the Greater London now.
Yeah, they expanded it.
I know they
Like,
expanded it, but I didn't know where they expanded it to.
whole of Greater London.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so like you said, any movement.
Yeah.
Even here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Anyway,
They're taking the piss. No, other countries don't live like us, you know.
it's ridiculous. It's
Like,
ridiculous.
the park is like with the car stuff is that's a bag that they are exploiting like differently. Like these
even-
charges on the cars, then being able to having to pay to drive through the city, having to pay to park it in your residence where you live.
And even these bike lanes they're doing, have you seen all the bike lanes in the south?
They're saying that there's more cameras in London than there is in like the whole of Europe combined or something like that. You get me? Like speed cameras, these law enforcement things and like they're just taking liberties out of people
And even these fucking flower pots on
in the street and
the
that.
back streets and that, like blocking off bare road. Like it's just becoming a nightmare to drive, man.
Yeah, damn bad, man. They got us. But yeah.
I'll see you on the bus.
Not me, bro.
Train.
What were we in? Wellness? Interview? All right, let's get into our interview, people.
Man, I beg you, stop asking them questions about what they're happy with, right? And when they ask you, what are you looking to do? You say, I don't know.
What do you mean I don't know? What happened just now, innit?
Yeah.
You acting like I do all the time.
Your message has been very clear from the very beginning.
Do you know what? My message has been clear, but people are asking the same questions. My message is simple. I don't vote for red or blue. I vote for what's beneficial for black people. And if whoever can bring policies and make me feel as though they can actually implement the policies and it benefits us, that's who I'm voting for.
And what you're saying is that that's blue.
No, I'm saying whoever it is. I don't care what the name is.
The policies that benefit black people, they also benefit others. There aren't
That's fine.
Yeah, there aren't specific
Yeah,
policies that are only for black people.
No, not at all.
They just happen to benefit us also,
Yeah.
as well as everyone else.
Yeah, and those are the ones I vote for. Because I care about how it affects our lives on a day-to-day.
So you've always voted Labour. Is
Always,
that
yeah.
always benefited black people?
No, but then it's not about.
I think so, yeah.
But then it's not about black. Then it's about who benefits people. Then, because if the policies aren't specific to black people and they benefit everyone, but they also benefit us because we're part of everyone, then where's the blackness in that?
No, because a lot of us are not necessarily part of the elite. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us came from working class backgrounds and stuff like that. So if you're going to make certain laws that make it more difficult for us to thrive, then I'm interpreting that as anti-black. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Even though
putting
there's
in
other people,
that
there's
fall
other
into that.
minority groups in that group as well.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I'm saying even with that being said, you still look at it as a black thing.
Yeah, because I'm black and it affects me and affects us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they can put certain things into place that affects black people and other working class people, for example, and that can help us to thrive and get up from the position we're in, then I will vote for that. You know what I'm saying? So
Miss
Hold on, wait. So that means, is it more class than race for you? Really? If that's your take. It's more about class.
I feel like it's a kind of a bit of both, to be fair. I feel like it's like the two are hard to kind of detach from each other, to be fair. Because like I was saying, most of us come from those backgrounds, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Miss Mariah, he's always voted Labour in the past. He's not sure who he will vote for next because he hasn't seen the policies, yet. But you'll be
In the
tuned
mayor
in.
election or the national election.
He's the one national.
The national one.
Come on, bro. You ain't seen the policies. It's been 15 years of madness.
Yeah, but
Absolute madness.
But what is Labour doing to
Somebody's got to be better than this. That's all I'm saying.
see? This is the problem.
Somebody's
Sometimes
got to be
we
better than
think
this.
That. Sometimes we think that.
No, but
Because-
first you have to fire the man in the job if he's doing a bad
I
job.
agree, I agree.
And then next man we can look at the interview and whatever. But this man's got to get fired. Like London mayor, I hear you, but national, nah, it's a wrap. They got to go.
Do you feel like it's different because Richie's at the helm now?
No, he was part of the same situation last time.
Yeah,
with
but now,
Bojo and that.
but as the leader, do you feel like he can potentially put certain things in place that could maybe help certain people to thrive? So, for example, obviously we're gonna get into,
certain people, his boys. You know what I'm saying? Like his people, his rich people,
like we're obviously gonna get into the interview where we talk about you being a CEO and things like that.
Yeah.
But starting a business, right? You already know there's certain things that are attached to being a business owner, right? An entrepreneur, that certain laws will benefit you. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And me personally, I believe that one of the biggest issues for black people is that not enough of us are becoming entrepreneurs. Not enough of us are doing certain things to put ourselves in a position to generate wealth. You know what I'm saying? And we need those tax breaks. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it may benefit the rich, but how does it help us if inheritance tax is there? How does it help us if, for example, granted, most of us don't fall into that bracket. Yeah. But you get what I'm trying to say.
I hear it.
So
I hear it.
I'm just thinking long term because handouts are not going to help us.
But the thing is, so obviously I'm born and raised in London, and a lot of the policies that helped me become a business owner was Labour socialist policies. You get what I'm saying?
How socialist was it?
EMA, you know, the fact that my mum got child tax credit, all these policies made me in a position where I was fed, I was good to go, so that when I got older and I was educated, I could start a business. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe now at the end, I should vote to be like, yo, give me a tax cut right at the end when I've got my win. Do you get what I'm saying? But like, if I'm thinking back to the next generation of young entrepreneurs, I don't think it helps them for a tax cut helps them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so obviously, if I'm voting purely for my own economic interest, I probably should vote Tory. You know what I'm saying? But that's not how I kind of operate and move through the world. I try not to.
And you're right, but
within reason, obviously, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying, isn't it?
Exactly.
80% tax, we can talk. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because I guess in my mind, I just feel as though us as human beings should not, and we've seen from history that we cannot rely on the government. So if more of us get into positions of power where we can start businesses, we can give jobs to people who come from backgrounds like us, instead of trying to put into our mindset, our psyche that, we can come to the government and they can help us. This is the reason why they treat us the way they treat us. Because they feel like without them, we're nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so it's difficult. It's about finding that balance, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't like that a lot of us are kind of closed-minded and just say, I'm going to vote for this because our parents did and because I'm used to it. Let's see what can really benefit us now, our children, and all of us as a whole. That's basically my argument.
No, I agree. I don't disagree with that. You should always, you know what I'm saying, vote with logic. Don't just go with feelings and past whatever track record. But I just think the track record now is clear.
Yeah,
for the last 15 years, it's been dead.
I hear you.
You're
right. You're right. It has been crap.
Like,
it has been. But yeah. All right. Let's get into our interview, man. So, you know what? You did introduce yourself, but if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself?
No, before I start, thanks for having me on. I love what you lot are doing. I see your clips. You lot make me laugh. Like, you guys are killing it. Like, so I appreciate to be a guest here. So I'm Michael, born and raised in London. Family originally from Eritrea. Always wanted to be like an entrepreneur. Since my first retail job, I was like, this ain't for me. I need to get, you know, some ownership and be a boss, as a cliche as that sounds now. Been running my company for the last 7-8 years. And basically we are like a media and careers platform for like Black and underrepresented people in the tech industry. So we'll do articles, news stories. We've got a newsletter. And then we've also got a job board where you create a profile and you can get jobs at companies like Facebook, Google, et cetera, et cetera. Got about 7 employees now, and we get around like 100,000 visits a month. And then I'm also a podcast co-host as well. So I do this podcasting as well called Techish. And we just broke into the top 10 tech charts.
Sick.
And my co-host Abadesi, she's a Nigerian Filipino entrepreneur as well. She does her thing. And yeah, it's a tech and pop culture podcast. So we'll talk about ChatGPT and then Cardi B. So we try to mix in the you know what I'm saying, the sugar with, we try to balance it out. You get what I'm saying? So it's not completely just like nerd talk, but we will bring in culture as well.
Sick.
Yeah.
That sounds dope.
And you're CEO of
Pocket, POCIT. Sorry, I forgot to say the name. Yeah, you can just Google POCIT.
And what's it stand for?
People of Color in Tech, but we just call it Pocket now.
Because
people of colors run out of fashion now, so I'd say POCIT.
Also, I think you did mention but I kind of want to mention some of the accolades, right? So, 2019 African Diaspora Young Business Leader Award.
Yeah.
Bang with the horns, man. All right. Financial Times Top 100 BAME Technologists in the UK. Not London, the UK. Tech Nation's Top 50 Black Technologists. And Powerless Top 30 Tech Titans.
I need to send this clip to my mum. Mum, it paid off.
So yeah, man, like it's sick to have you here, man.
No, I appreciate you having me.
I guess the first question is, how did you get into tech and where does interest come from?
So yeah, I wanted to be a business owner from day in it, and I realized that when I was at uni, I'm not gonna have 10 bags, 20 bags to start up a shop. So I thought everyone's making money off websites and stuff like that, and I saw the social network. I said, let me learn to code. Or first, let me build a website, and I was contacting these Indian contractors, and they were bumping me, and it wasn't good work. So I said, how hard could it be? Picked up a HTML, CSS for dummies, started doing that. Got a bit better, managed to get a job at a startup, did that for about 8 months. And then basically from there on in, I learned enough to kind of go and do my own thing, basically. So it was more of like, I knew I didn't have the resources to do like a traditional business. And I said, let me just do what I'm seeing is in the papers and in the movies, and let's just, yeah, I'm saying. And that's when I realized the power of media. It doesn't really inspire you. I saw The Social Network. I was like, yeah, that's me. Like, I need a bit of that. Sorry, got my headphones on.
Okay.
Also, haven't we jumped 140?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
What's that?
We do like to play a game, man.
Go on.
So basically, we play 140 tempo beat, grime.
I got a spit.
100%.
Shit.
100%. We're putting you on the spot, man.
Freestyle, man.
Freestyle.
You should have prepped, man. I had some bars written.
I'm sorry, we don't do that.
Off the
here.
top of the dome, bro.
You know, we're joking.
I would have done it, you know. I got a
That's
couple
what I'm
bars.
thinking. I think let's do it, man. He was ready to go.
You know, I was messing around spitting one time, and one guy was actually a spit was like, I'll take that bar.
Serious?
Yeah, so I say it. It's embarrassing, but I say it.
Like, go on.
I said, it goes, I'm not from Somalia, but I go more forward than hot Olia.
Okay.
Okay, come on, not bad. He's not impressed. He was semi-impressed. He's like, jotting it down on the iPad.
Stored.
Stealing bars. All right.
So basically, in this game, we ask you a bunch of questions. Some of them are preference questions. So
Okay.
something like, I don't know, Netflix or Prime.
Okay.
And others are actual general knowledge questions.
Okay, let's go.
Right, and it's going to be on a 140 tempo beat, right?
Okay.
Cool. So Brent, when you're ready,
All right.
bottom up or top bottom?
Let's go bottom. Cool. Again, this way, yeah? Me.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
All right. Start in 3, 2, 1.
How old was Queen Elizabeth when she died?
105? 100? Something like that.
What African city means lakes in Portuguese?
Kinshasa? Got that completely wrong.
Religion or way of life?
Way of life.
What temperature does water boil at?
Oh, I don't know. I've forgotten.
Name one of Uganda's neighboring countries.
Rwanda.
Young Thug or Ghana?
Young Frog.
What's the chemical symbol for silver?
I don't know.
What country did Lennox Lewis represent in the Olympics?
Britain. Or Canada. Was it Britain? Fuck, Britain.
TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
What postcode does most of Mashtown come from?
Don't know.
What's the most populated country in the Caribbean?
Jamaica.
Cinema or theatre?
Cinema.
Who came runner-up in the 2022 World Cup?
Fuck. Draw a blank.
What Jamaican artist would you find in every cinema?
In every cinema.
Yeah.
Jamaican artist.
Yeah.
Houseway. Bob Marley. I don't know.
Popcorn.
That's the
Lord have mercy.
That's the first time we've got that far to get that question, you know?
Yeah.
I went quick, but I was fumbling all of them.
Was anyone keeping track, keeping score?
He might have looked at afterwards and then.
Yeah.
Right, 2 or 3, right? 2 or 3.
You got
I know Rwanda was 100% right.
Yeah, you got Rwanda. Lagos was the
Lagos.
the country.
Okay.
Lennox Lewis represented Canada.
I thought so. Fuck.
Yeah.
That damn accent.
The most populated Caribbean country was Cuba.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, you only got one, right?
1. How do I do compared to everyone else?
I mean, you're near the bottom. That's all right.
Okay,
All right. So what area? Firstly, because I'm kind of like new to tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you need to give me like a layman's version of everything, right? So
Okay.
basically, what are different areas of tech, and what area are you kind of in? If that's even a legit question.
Right. So yeah. So the different areas. You mean as like role types? You mean, or you mean like industries?
Industries.
Well, I think the key thing is that tech is everywhere now. If you go
Okay.
into your bank, if you're using Monzo, like tech is powering all of this shit basically. But obviously you've got social media companies, you've got e-commerce, you've got fintech. There's a bunch of stuff really. In terms of career types, obviously you can be an engineer, you can be a designer,
Okay.
you can work in tech sales. I always recommend people just to get into like tech sales because it's like if you can just talk and you've got charisma, you don't really need to know much and it's quite lucrative.
Okay. So when you were starting Pocket, right?
Yeah.
Did you kind of gear it to be a particular area, or is it like more so? I don't know, the media side of it. Is it more so?
Yeah, so it started off as a blog. I started it with someone in
Okay.
New York actually. So it was originally just a blog where we interviewed like Black or Latino engineers like once a week because there wasn't really that much representation in the media. This is like 2015 now, so just going back a way. And then eventually people start reaching out to us saying like, yo, can we hire for your site? Can we hire for your newsletter? Basically, I realized like, okay, there's some money here. At the time, I was working on a different startup. Everyone was kind of doing like Uber for X and like trying to do an Uber style business. And I think I was working on like a Uber for barbershops and it never worked out. So then I ended up just pivoting towards this and just following the money basically.
Okay. So what have been some of the, I guess, key challenges starting up Light Pocket?
Hiring people. When you get into that game, you just start seeing all sorts of shit basically. Yeah, finding good people is always the hardest thing, to be honest. Like I've been scarred a couple times.
Okay. What sort of things have happened?
I've had people steal, you know what I'm saying? I've had, on the more benign side, just people that, you know, in the interview, they're mad charismatic and they're talking a great game. And then obviously you start working with them and you realize like they ain't shit, basically. The way I got around that basically is that in the interview process, instead of making you do an assignment or a task that's like unpaid, I will give you work. If you're a writer, write me an article, here's a bill, whatever, 2 bills, whatever you need. And here's a time, like, you know what I'm saying, give it in a day or 2. And then basically I can see that you can actually work. What I was doing is just basing it on just like your LinkedIn profile. I was just inexperienced. I don't know what I was doing basically. So there's loads of hiccups when it comes to hiring.
And may seem like a silly question here, but are you kind of only hiring people of color?
So the kind of people that apply tend to be disproportionately people of color. So my team is majority black, basically. Cool. So that has worked out because of the mission. And I can just go tweet and say, yo, we're hiring for this, and people will apply, basically. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, I have had a few comments whenever I posted a team photo, but I'm like, when you've got a team that's majority white, nobody's like, it's kind of just normal, to be honest. You get what I'm saying? So now it's the reverse.
People say something when you post a picture of your team?
Sometimes, yeah. On LinkedIn. Oh, okay, like, nice diversity there, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fair play.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And I was going to say something about...
and the company's called People of Color in Tech.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of the company. Then no one has any grounds to complain, no?
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
People are always gonna have certain things to to complain about. But in terms of this whole new emergence of AI now, right?
Yeah.
How have you or did you kind of start your company around the time AI was kind of a growing thing anyway?
No, not at all.
Okay.
This is 2015, so it wasn't really like a top of your conversation, nor was there any real products that you could use. There was nothing like ChatGPT them times there, basically.
Okay. So,
but the thing, does AI affect every aspect of tech, though?
It will do.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. It will do. I use it all the time. I use ChatGPT all the time in my company. I tell my employees all the time to use it as well. Like, just
all right. So that's the only aspects of AI that you use in your company currently.
Pretty much, yeah. As a product, basically.
All right. Okay.
But in our like media, we talk a lot about the use of like facial recognition technology and basically how actually a lot of times it misidentifies black people. So we've written stories about how there was a black man in a certain state who got arrested for a state that he's never even been to because the way AI works is that it's based on training data. So they feed the machine lots of images. Most of those images are white faces. So it's really bad at recognizing people from different racial backgrounds.
Okay.
So now they've actually applied that into the real world and it's having real world applications where basically it's like, yo, we need to get more of us in the room because actually someone would have flagged that up and said, hold on, like this ain't really recognizing me and my kin, basically. And now it's actually having real world applications where people are getting falsely accused of crimes they didn't do.
Oh, wow. So as a owner of a tech company, right, and with the emergence of AI, would you or could you see a time where you would actually prefer to use AI than actual human beings?
That's a good question, you know. I think the combination right now is powerful.
Yeah.
Right now, you know what I'm saying? The AI is not smart enough to do like to be an employee in of itself. I think it will make us more efficient. But I think going forward, there might be a time when it's probably like better than a person. I'll be honest with you. And I don't know what I would do then because ethically I would feel away. But at the same time, like hiring people is expensive. People are not easy to work with all the time. When you have like an employee, it's almost like you've got to kind of be like a mentor and a coach and a thing. They've got issues. Oh, I'm not well. I'm not sick. You know what I'm saying? My family's not well. It's difficult sometimes. So like I can foresee a future where it might get really tempting, to be honest.
But how much man hours go into AI though? Because you still need a human being behind it all, though.
What do you mean, like to like type in what they want to do? Not necessarily. Because so for example, I have a friend. He's built apps that basically can do like a bunch of stuff, like respond to customer queries and like, do you know what I mean? Automate a whole bunch of stuff. So you don't necessarily, once you set it up, you can just let it go.
So, okay, so in terms of being self-efficient, once you set up initially, that's it.
Yeah, potentially.
So it's just, I guess...
It's a robot working for you 24/7. Do you know what I'm saying?
Scary times.
Yeah.
It sounds as though you're leaning to your ethics are going to be kicked out the window as soon as it is.
I think we all will be though. Like
Don't
the
talk
reality
to
is. So when you go into Tesco's, you make sure that you go to the person that's serving you, or do you go to the machine, self checkout?
I go to the person that's
Oh
serving
my
me.
days.
So you see that as obviously.
You know what? That's a good point. You know, like
We all want efficiency. That's what we
self-checkouts.
do.
Obviously, self-checkouts have been huge for ages, but eventually we might see the end of actually people working at the cashier.
I go to that.
I don't like that.
You don't like what?
When there's no one working and it's just all the self-checkout. That's bollocks.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I can't remember the last time I went to see a person at a supermarket in years.
I try to. The supermarket I go to,
I'm
they
self-checkout
ain't
or
got
die,
people
It's
bro.
normally the trolleys you take into the self the people who are basically.
But also, no,
They got trolleys.
no,
They got trolleys
in my
self-checkout.
Tesco, they've made a Tesco. They made
Self-checkout for the trolleys.
trolleys.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah,
And
it's
you still
got-
use it?
Yeah, I was
Is
using
it?
it. Yeah.
I could do it faster than they could do it. I have
Yeah, but-
places to go
Yeah, but I don't want to do that though.
Is it? You like to prefer the people?
because you want to talk to them.
No, I just don't want to. Like when I pay for services, I don't want to do my own shit. Like
Oh, you're coming out from the lazy angle.
I don't know that, but I'm coming there. I expect you lot to do your job. Why am I doing you lot's job? Scan this and bag my shit. Like what are we doing there?
Hold on. Have you been into the Amazon Fresh stores before?
I don't like that
I've
shit.
been
Don't
in
like
there.
that.
No, but you could just walk in and just take stuff.
Just taking it.
Yeah.
Just
But-
take it, put it off
I'm
the
not
string,
trying- I'm not
pop
trying
out.
to-
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need to. You just walk, literally
walk out,
just
charge
walk
your
in,
card,
scan
that's
your thing, and just walk in. If you see it, take it and just walk out. You don't have to have a conversation with nobody.
I love that.
Nothing. You have to queue up nowhere, but that's different because you ain't got to queue up and all these kind of
Yeah.
things. You just gonna take what you want. You get me? But my thing is, why ain't nobody here working?
They are working. They stacking the shelves. They're maintaining the store, man. You don't have to bag your bags, you lazy ass.
You're paying for a service. I just want people to provide it. That's it.
So would you guys feel like? Do you guys feel good about the Amazon situation then? Amazon store, where it's like nobody's there.
So there are people there, but
Yeah,
they're
but
there to
I-
make sure that you get in okay
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
the shelves are
But
stacked.
there's less stuff.
I think
There's less
I
stuff,
think
probably,
I
yeah.
think it's cool. It's efficient. It's quick. I've used it a couple of times before.
I've used it.
Yeah, I've used it.
I use it, yeah.
Take your stuff and leave.
So how does the ethical position factor into this? Is it a thing where? Oh, obviously, I know it's a tough question, but like, if we kind of see this happening in the future, how do we kind of, I don't know, put something in place to mitigate against these?
I don't know. There's a lot of people that go deep into the philosophy of it. Like, there's one guy, he wrote a book, and he basically said that in the future we may have a useless class, he calls it.
Wow.
But basically, in the past, you had even a dictatorship like Stalin and Hitler, they needed people to fight their wars, they needed people to like be in the factories. But what happens in 20, 30, 50 years' time when actually they don't even need people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is beyond my pay grade, to be honest, to figure out. But in the short term, do you go out of the way to work with to go to the till person? That's the question for all of us.
If I go by the till, right, I obviously will need bags. I don't pay for bags.
Yeah.
That's another reason as well that I don't go to the trampoline there. You know what I mean?
I don't
10p
cause much
bags.
trouble for myself.
To be fair,
don't.
I take bags myself, but if I don't have a bag, then why am I going to go to see a person? I'm not going to pay for that bag.
I have to look you in the eye when it is that they're doing it. I'm vexed. 'Cause I've used a lot of bags now. Self-checkout is the way forward. But again, money's not an issue for you.
That's right.
Money should be an issue for everybody in this day and age.
Cost of living and that.
Cost of living. I just don't want to do my own work. So,
And wait, do you feel like you paying for goods, right? Factored into that is people's salaries. So when, like, for example, you go into shops, right, and because you bought something here, there needs to be someone here to make sure that they do all the packing of your stuff and scanning it and all that stuff.
I don't feel like me buying anything is going towards their salaries. I don't feel that entitled, but I just feel like I've walked into the supermarket. This is a service that you don't provide. I should be able to receive it.
I don't see it that way, I don't see supermarket as like I'm meant to come in there and deliver a service. The service is you provided me with the stuff I want to buy, not smiling at me, saying hello, bagging my stuff. I don't need any of that extra stuff. I'm just coming to buy some milk.
Yeah, I don't know. When I go there and I see that the self-checkout's all full up to the brim, everybody's queuing to go and do self-checkout to do their own work. I look to the right, all the old school aisles are all empty. Nobody's working. Like, so now my service is rubbish because nobody wants to work. You are lazy. So now I've got to queue up here with all these people and all these aisles are here open and all you are walking around chatting shit. Come and man the tills and like do some work for efficiency. Like, what are we doing here? Like?
Are you, okay, cool. You're talking to people. You're talking tills that are empty. I see tills where there's a worker there, but no one's there. Like they're ready to work, but no one's come to them.
Where's that? I want to go. That's a luxury. Where's that? I want to go there. Because if I see empty, I'm going to them.
Go to the Tesco's in Gallon's Reach.
Is it? No. I'll go there sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen you there before.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind that. I get good service. You get what I'm saying? People doing their job. People doing their rounds clock job.
What are your commitment levels? So you actually drive further than where you would normally go in order to basically have people work for you?
I stopped using my local because of that same reason. When I go there, there's nobody manning the tills and the kids expect me to do it myself. Goodness. So I stopped going there.
You're a different breed.
Huh? Yeah, I just stopped going there because I had enough of this. Every time I walk in, I'm always complaining. If I'm always complaining when I'm going there, it's more for me. Like, you ain't providing the service I want. I'm not coming there no more.
It's a change that you don't like because obviously you fill your own gas, right?
Yeah, but I've always done that.
That's what I'm saying. It's a change you don't like.
Maybe then. Yeah, I just want people to do their job. I just want when I go to the workplace, I expect people to be working anywhere.
But
not just supermarkets, anywhere.
But you're not paying for that. You're not paying. You're paying for the food and your groceries. You're not paying for that service, right?
You saying it's included?
Kind of.
I feel like it's included. Yeah.
They make profit on each product they sell, don't they? So
Come
where's
on,
that money
man.
going?
Yeah.
Paying salaries.
Petting stuff.
Maybe I've got it all wrong, but it's just how I feel. I stopped using my supermarket because of that. They got all the self-checkouts there. I stopped it. This is not what I count my yard for.
And obviously, I think nowadays you have to fill your own bags. Do you make them fill the bags? Because that's changed.
Yeah, that's changed. No, I probably.
You're fine with that?
Huh?
What do you mean for your own
Interesting.
bags?
You're not really. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. My friend.
They're not gonna.
What the hell is the difference?
You
with
mean
self-checkout?
you mean even at the checkout with the
Yes,
person
he's
you got
packing his own bags.
Yeah,
You're working for them now.
I think that's been the way for time.
He
though,
knows.
man.
He
No,
knows.
sometimes
He just
there used
realised.
to be a guy standing at the bottom of the Tesco packing
Remember,
the food, but
back
in the day.
they took that away.
They
innit?
push your stuff down the little slope thing,
Yeah.
and you got to pack it yourself.
Sometimes they dash it.
Yeah. So all they're doing is scanning it. You're still doing the packing.
Yeah, but at a certain time I'll be taking my time, and then she'll just start helping me with the bags. You get what I'm saying?
And what's that? Man wants that customer service.
All right.
So you feel with AI, it's inevitable, and everybody will have to basically just evolve.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's no other, what's the alternative? What technology has ever been pushed back just for the sake of like maintaining jobs?
And the education system, you would have children now learning how to code, how to manage the AI efficiently. What would that new look like?
So one, obviously, with education, it's difficult because now kids can just go on ChatGPT and get their kind of answers done for them. So the school system's gonna have to adapt, whether it's getting them to write the answers in pencil, or whether it's basically getting them to work with the AI like in front of the teacher, and basically the assignment now is use AI to like learn about this and then come and speak and tell me what you know. Basically, the old school system now of do your coursework or dissertation at home probably will get phased out because there has never been any way so far for them to detect whether the writing is AI. Even the companies that develop like ChatGPT put out a product that was meant to like tell you with accuracy that it's actually created by ChatGPT, and they couldn't. It wouldn't succeed. So school's definitely gonna have to change.
I never even think of that, in terms of like university system, school system. And
Yeah,
people
they had AIs looking to make programs that could actually check if the essay
is
yeah,
yeah.
and they sold it to the universities.
Because they have that already with the internet, with search engines. So when I was in uni, they had a system where they could, if you submit an assignment and you just copied and pasted it off Google, off the internet, they could tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could detect plagiarism.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
is difficult because the AI is producing new and original content.
Yeah.
It's based on existing content, but you can tailor it to be kind of pretty
Oh yeah,
new.
okay, cool. Because the AI stuff that's all original, isn't it?
It's all original,
As opposed to
basically, yeah.
Me taking a paragraph from an article and maybe just changing the words here and there, or maybe just taking it verbatim. That's gonna be
That's get flagged
detected.
from back in the day that got flagged.
Yeah.
But now, they're gonna have to change the whole system really.
But you don't fear any of this.
I
know there's a
I do.
whole-
No, I do to a certain extent.
What
I
part
do.
of the AI revolution do you fear?
I fear like what's gonna happen when you got a man that's maybe earning 40, 50 bags using, driving a truck, and then all of a sudden that job goes because it's driverless. Like, what's that bro gonna do? Who's he gonna vote for? That's where I fear it. Because I feel like there will be replacement work, but will that dude be able or willing to be retrained? Most of us are not. Most of us are kind of content Imagine being 40, 50, getting told like, all right, bro, now it's time for you to do this next thing that you've never done before. You've just been comfortable. Like, I fear the political ramifications because people get scared. They start voting for BNP and that, and then all of a sudden, it's they start looking for the wrong enemies. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
question: is there a world in which it is? Obviously, the government flips everything because obviously nobody's working, quote unquote. This is a dystopian world now, right? Everything's just AI operated.
yeah.
And they now look to say we don't have to pay for things in the manner in which we paid for it before. Because we're working in order to basically live, right?
Yeah.
Suppose they remove that aspect of it. And we don't need to be doing that stuff in order to live. Can that be a thing?
So you're basically saying take the proceeds of AI and basically have a sort of like universal basic income when none of us have to
100%.
work. It could happen. That's not against the laws of nature. It's just whether we have the will to force governments to do that.
But the people will look to, like, rebel if it is that they're losing their jobs left, right, and centre.
I mean, it's what we talked about earlier with the whole like French system versus the British system. It's up to the population to like force the hand of governments to basically make sure that the spoils of this economic revolution are distributed.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying?
And where do you sit morally? Because you're one of the people who are kind of in the know about what's kind of coming around the bend, right?
Right.
And you have a little bit left to live as in
Hopefully.
the whole in the grand scheme of it being 100, 200 years, right?
Yeah.
So you can set yourself up nicely. You can set your offspring up nicely before you no longer are here, right?
Okay.
Would you still fight the cause of, let's stop this from happening because in 300 years' time, like, this is going to be obsolete?
Yeah, 100%.
Why do you say that? Because when I asked you earlier what you would do with your company, you'd be like, depends. After a while, if it is really, really, really beneficial, nobody else is doing it, then I have to basically just...
Yeah, I mean, you could be, when you're an individual actor in a system,
Yeah.
it might be a situation where my business might go out of business if I don't compete with the companies who are doing so.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between that and me saying we need to vocally change the rules of the game. And there's a difference between that and playing the game. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if the game is every company's using AI and I'll go out of business if I don't use AI, I'm forced, I have to. You get what I'm saying? But if it comes to like advocating for new policies and laws to basically say that maybe we should slow down or maybe there should be regulation, I'm for that basically. You get what I'm saying?
I really don't like how it's going to decimate the creative industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the whole writer's strike and this and next, you've seen what it is that they're looking to protest against, and it's not valid. Obviously, we don't know yet the complexity that AI is going to now become, because I've seen some scary things. My older brother is like a consultant in that particular space. He's very, very big in that space, and he's been telling me like what is developing just where we don't even know about it.
Yeah,
it's already being developed like 10 years in the future. And movies are going to be completely different. You wouldn't even be able to know whether this is a real actor or if it's just computer generated, like in a mad way. So what does that even look like in the next 5 years, let alone flipping 20 years?
I think 5 years were good in terms of like movies and stuff like that. And what the writer strike has done is basically made sure that they can use AI, but basically you cannot take away a writer's credit. The writer's still got to get paid. 20 years, 30 years time, who knows? Honestly, I don't know. Like that's so far ahead in the future. It's hard to predict what may happen. But I think the battle now is basically making sure that when AI is used, that people get ownership over their likeness, their voice, their written word. There are people who are suing the company behind ChatGPT. So there's an author called Sarah Silverman. She's a comedian. And I think she went into ChatGPT and asked about it herself, and she could clearly see there was excerpts of her book that was being used to inspire what was thinking. She's like, hold on, I never got paid for that. You lot used my book as your training data. I need a cut. So then now those are the battles that are going to happen.
The biggest battle
who gets
now
paid?
is the whole copyright stuff now.
Copyright, who gets paid over like training data? If I use your voice or likeness, who gets paid? Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if it's completely accurate, but I know Stephen Fry, he does like a lot of like Harry Potter books in terms of the audiobooks. And I think his voice was used in like another audiobook or was projected to be used. And his agent was like, yo, we're not getting paid for this. Like, what's going on kind of thing. So I think the future will be whenever your voice is used somewhere in the contract, do they have perpetual rights to use your voice for future projects without you getting paid? It could be a situation where you use your voice once and then they use your voice again in like another audiobook or a movie and you get a penny every time it's used or 10p every time it's used and you can sleep and get paid like crazy. But that has to be fought for. Those sort of like things. It's a whole new frontier now.
But So let's just say the copyright issue is sorted. Everyone's kind of happy with that. Do you feel like human beings will still find a reason to be fearful of AI? And do you feel like this is just the normal consequences of just moving into a different time?
Yeah, people are scared of change. So I think yes.
I knew that was. I knew
Right, bro.
Brent's just got something that he does when he sends shots at me and he puts the camera on me. People don't clock it, but I always.
Yeah, people are shook of change. So yeah, no doubt.
Because I feel like with these regulations, yeah, they help, right? But it's just delaying the inevitable. So again, obviously, everyone's.
So when you say
approach is-
inevitable, what do you mean though?
it
The
just-
robots taking over and like Terminator.
It may not, maybe not that far, but I feel like.
I think that's inevitable.
You feel like.
If we keep going down the AI road, that is inevitable. Like there's the visions that they showed us on the TV screen.
If you go, can you put up Boston Dynamics and you see the robot, you'll see like what they're working on. So this is like physical robots that can like jump up and down. It's looking like a Terminator thing. And when it first started, they couldn't do nothing. And now it's like flipping.
The one that can do the front flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. No, I'm not joking. No, watch when you see it.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
No, I ain't seen it.
No, it's sick. It's proper sick. It's doing serious front flips. It's like a ninja.
Serious.
Yeah. Once we...
Could that be a good thing though? Like, so people who are scared, remember, again, this may
I
sound
know exactly
silly.
what you're going to say. Go on.
Yeah, this may sound silly, but what if you could buy one of those things as a bodyguard?
I knew
You
were
probably
gonna
could eventually.
Wouldn't that be a
They
good
will never
thing?
let you. They're banning the bloody
Safeguarding
dogs.
is
You
one
think
thing.
they're gonna let you have a robot? You can't have an XL bully, but you have a robot.
Is it the dog stuff? The dog-looking stuff?
Yeah,
All right,
kind of.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're giving
that?
it-
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, I've seen that bedtimes. That dog
Once
was-
again, welcome to
No, but that's
today's
not it.
webinar.
Ain't it the thing that was like a ninja turtle with a hump on his
Means
back?
that we
There's
can,
a few. Yeah, there's
And then
different
also-
ones.
Also,
So
what are
there's a
these?
dog-looking one. There's one that stands up like a man.
You know,
But what are
it's
these
going
robots for?
one of these
Could
But
be
this
like
thing's
working
doing
in a
a-
warehouse.
this
Activity.
This thing's doing front flips onto like beams and that.
No, but-
like it's doing James Bond shit.
But that's not going to do anything for the world. What are they for?
Espionage.
Everything.
Are you crazy?
Where it's too dangerous for a person, it could be war.
Oh, so these are combat robots. You're
So
talking
the
about.
could be.
company's developing them for them to be multi-purpose. We don't know, but I'm sure behind the scenes the US military is like, yeah, we need to
100%.
strap.
Okay,
Get them
because
strapped.
they're having less and less for the way that technology is moving. Yeah, they got less and less use for physical soldiers anyway, like boots on the ground. Obviously, when they want to go and invade, boom, boom. But they've been cutting back on that from the beginning of time, innit? So eventually, if we get to the point where we don't have to use humans anymore,
Yeah, no,
we're gonna use our.
If you think about drones, they're basically an aerial version of this, which is basically a lot of the wars that America have been fighting for the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Hasn't been boots on the ground. It's just been, yo, there's a brother over there.
Yeah,
We can
so
detect his
drone.
mobile phone, fly it over, drop.
Drop a bit.
So what happens to the point when you've got AI troops, unmanned troops that are hiding in guns, and you've got a 300,000 strong unit? If something infiltrates that, if they decide that what happens then? That's braziness. If they go rogue,
And
what
you've
are
got
you gonna
them,
do?
and they might have facial recognition technology. So if they're after one Brit, they ain't gonna miss. They ain't gonna miss.
Don't they have like the adjustments that they put onto human beings to make them like roboty?
I think if you're gonna Iron Man, bro. No, I don't know that one.
No.
No, I'm joking. I ain't seen that one.
Come on, man! They have the mechanics that they add to the soldiers.
I think they're
like an
developing that.
exoskeleton.
Yeah, they're developing it. I don't think it's war ready, but I've seen some demos basically.
Okay.
We'll see. But I think it will probably be all robot before they do exoskeleton. I think.
Serious?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but they can do a real life Iron Man thing. If they can do this, then why can't they build a suit that a human can wear?
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
They do. That's what I'm saying. I've seen it.
Oh, you seen it?
I've seen it. They're making super soldiers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. Yeah, I was having this debate with someone there. I don't want to take it too far left, right? But do you feel like if we get to a stage, all right, put it this way: do you feel like AI and just AI is basically the next step of human evolution?
That's a tough one. I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I'm still pro-human. There are some people that believe that. Like when I'm reading Elon Musk's new book, basically, he was having a debate with the CEO of Google. This is like 10 years ago. These men were ahead of the curve talking about AI, developing it. And Elon Musk was saying we need guardrails because like I want to make sure that humanity is protected. And the CEO of Google was like, oh, you're being a speciesist.
See?
Speciesist.
Yeah,
And Elon's like, bruh, of course I am. I'm pro-humans. I'm obviously going to be in favor of my thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of these tech guys We're thinking about the next level of consciousness, basically.
Exactly.
So there are people that think that way. I can't stand that.
So
You're looking shook. He's like,
I'm looking at that. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a joke thing.
But is it really though? Because are we not doing everything that kind of leads us down that road anyway? Because how do we control certain things and allow certain things? Like who decides where the line should be drawn?
We, the people, human beings, decide.
Yeah, but we all have different opinions. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, the line's just gonna get moved closer to the inevitable.
And also, that's not human evolution, though. What you described. That's
Is it not?
That's evolution of society and technology. It's not human evolution.
What
You're creating a different being who are not humans.
what makes a human?
Oh, Iman.
No, I'm being for real.
Alright, cool.
It's a question.
Blood, flesh, heart, lungs, organs, a brain. Those things make you human.
Sentience.
So let's just say, because we already know, for example,
Consciousness.
the consciousness, right? So that consciousness, how do you define consciousness, Ben? Is that just the brain? So for example, if we were to take all the information in your brain, how you behave and act and everything, and let's just say, God forbid, something happened where we can transfer all of that, right, into a mechanical being. Do we still have Yusuf? Or is Yusuf? Let's not use it. Is that person dead? Or if that person is here talking with us, being exactly like you, do we still have that person?
You put my consciousness into a robot.
Yeah.
And what part of me is there? Just my consciousness, nothing else.
Yeah.
My brain's not there.
No, it's everything that your brain would be, but obviously your brain is biological.
Yeah.
Let's just say we put it into a machine because the machine is more durable, it's more efficient, but it's you.
So,
Everything about your character is that.
So the question is, what's more of a bigger part of you? Your physical shell or your consciousness?
That's basically what I'm asking. Because a lot of the time we say, for example, someone who's got Alzheimer's, for example, when they've lost their memory, it's not them anymore, right? Why is it we can say that? Their physical is there, everything's the same.
Yeah.
Their organs, their blood, everything's functioning, but nothing in their brain is what it was. And we say that person's gone. So if the flip is kind of implemented here, where their brain is fully intact, everything is normal, how they function in terms of what they say and think about, but their body is machine. Are they gone, or is that them there?
It's both. It's both. They're there because their consciousness is still there, but physically they're gone. But I wasn't even talking about, a society where we can take people's consciousness and put it into a robot. It's more so making just robots by themselves.
Yeah.
Conscious, you mean?
Yeah. Like,
I wouldn't even necessarily worry about the robots developing consciousness. That's so far away.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Do you get what I'm saying? But the problem is it can still be dangerous without it being conscious. Intelligence and consciousness are not the same thing.
100%.
It can be super hyper intelligent without necessarily being aware of, like, do you get what I'm saying, what it's doing, or that it's aware that it's existing, basically.
So I was at a talk on last week, Monday, on AI, and I had some experts on the panel. And they had this debate. And the experts said all of the fear mongering around these AIs becoming sentient beings and having its own consciousness is garbage.
Yeah.
Because they are just really, really like hyper vigilant programmed entities or code. And yes, they can get to a point where it can get very good at replicating human behavior. But it's only because it's learnt that human behavior. It can't go past that and have its own agency. So I hear you, and I also agree only because that's what they said. But that's where we are now. Surely.
Yeah.
What's gonna be around the corner when it is now like aliens get into the mix? And then then the AI stuff gets mixed with the alien stuff.
How do you mean, though?
Don't take my question as serious. I'm just in there. Don't take it as serious. But I agree, we're not there yet. I don't think we will ever be, because I believe one's being is far more spiritual than it is just something that can be programmed.
I hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing I mentioned about the useless class, the author basically says that he feels that we are now coming to the end of human history, because essentially in the next few years we will start basically integrating ourselves with various different technologies, and we will be as different from those people as we are from Neanderthals and whatever. So then essentially it's going to be a whole new chapter, and we can't imagine what that future will be like, just like a Neanderthal couldn't imagine skyscrapers or whatever. So it probably won't be a situation where the robot gets sentient and we're scared. It's going to be more a situation where we will integrate with machines. But this is like over like a 50 to 100 year time. Like we'll probably be all dead and gone by the time this starts popping off, really and truly.
I thought it'd be longer than that, you know. 50, 100 years?
Yeah,
I'll still be here.
We'll start you're not Dr. Sebi, yeah?
That's crazy. 1,500 years.
No,
It's gonna
50
be-
to 100.
50 to 100, yeah.
It could be longer than that, man. Told you, you thought we'd be doing injections by now. So all this stuff that you think 50 years time is still going to be meaty.
But even with that being said, right, this question for you. How much technology do companies hold back from consumers? So how far in the future is Apple? Our companies, because obviously, you know, when you get an iPhone, for example,
Yeah.
the tech they have now for the iPhone, they probably could have released it 10 years ago. But obviously, is that even true, to be fair? Because there is a narrative that companies hold back tech so they can just...
So the thing is about that, the reason why I don't necessarily buy into that, they definitely have R&D departments where they're working on stuff that's far ahead, but it's not consumer ready. If it was consumer ready, what if Samsung has that same technology and they're like, fuck it, we're going to drop it? Just because of the laws of capitalism, there's no way that you can say, oh, we're going to hold back this shit that's going to make us bare money, but these men are going to do the same. No, everyone's going to compete and be like, we need to get this out as soon as possible when it's ready, basically. So I don't necessarily buy into that.
okay.
But they are working on things that are like probably not consumer ready. Like, oh, it's not really there. It's not there just yet. Or we don't know how to apply this to, do you know what I'm saying, to a consumer. So so Siri, like if Siri was like super smart and better, I'd put all my money into an Apple stock. But Siri's so shit. But obviously, I know they're probably working on integrating AI with Siri to make Siri super smart and better. But they're scared to probably do it because they don't know. Like, imagine putting that into the wild. You got some young kid saying, Siri, like, how do I like do something mad? And Siri be like, this is how you do it. Because it can, because it probably will be able to do that. So they're probably scared to like release something that isn't ready for the consumer that will work perfectly each time.
Okay.
So it's more to do with that than it is like, oh, we're sitting back and we wanna drip feed.
That's what I'm looking for. Because I've believed in that narrative my whole life. I'll be honest with you, that we're drip fed tech and that companies hold back.
It's true. I don't understand what you've just said.
So maybe the government might have technology, but corporations, no.
I hear that, but I didn't want to go government because government is obvious, right?
Yeah.
But you just mentioned Apple, right? And you have, what do you normally have?
Samsung.
And you normally say, oh, we had that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That particular tech, this particular company had dropped it before Apple decided.
But that's just Apple being shit.
But
they still dropped it.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's not Apple being like having a plan saying, yo, we can't drop, they're not ready for this one, and you know, we wanna delay this. It's more just them being incompetent as a company, to be honest, like. Because they will do it eventually, they're just being slow.
I hear you.
And you know what? He's still speaking to the same thing because he's saying it's not holding it back with some other motive. It's just not consumer ready, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? So the technology and stuff is there. How do we apply it to the general public and to our consumer base, or make this technology feasible so it works and we can make a profit off it? Maybe that's the process that takes the time. So that's why they hold it back. It's not like some other ulterior motive. Do you know what I mean?
I think also the economics plays a part as well, because maybe to get a particular phone ready like that, it may cost $10,000.
Yeah,
no one's looking to buy that.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's,
so we can't bring it out.
It's in my head, it's the economics of it all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not ready to go out. I believe it's ready to go out because sometimes you have them using that thing for a whole 2 years before testing it, as you said, R&D. Before it's like, all right, cool. Now that we can replicate this with cheaper, this and next, let's now push it out. Because Samsung's been doing that time thing before Apple for the longest while.
No, I agree.
So
I agree.
I hear what you're saying.
I agree with you though.
But in the grand scheme of things, the government and the army, the people, the 1%, they've been doing a whole set of madness for the longest while. Even this whole UAP stuff, Michael, that's a big thing that they've been keeping hidden from us for decades as opposed to just years, small years.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do you understand? So I do believe that they feel they're only going to give it to us when it is that they want to give it to us for whatever agenda they want to give it to us in. This whole 5G stuff, it hasn't rolled up properly yet. But we know autonomous vehicles are coming en masse very, very soon. That's why they're doing all of the particular 5G networking. And that the 5G data transfer is going to be much faster than we are even used to with our computers. All this stuff, I only know about it because I can read up on this stuff. Do you understand? But the masses don't know that this is coming, and they will only know about it once there's a nice little marketing rollout.
So we posted on our gram basically a video of this woman in San Francisco booking the equivalent of an Uber, but it's a driverless car, basically. And so the thing just comes up, rolls up. There's no man in there. She's getting in there. She's speaking in tongues, praying that this thing is working. Basically, it's quite funny. But that's something that's being rolled out slowly in San Francisco. They're doing it bit by bit, drip feeding the public to make sure that it's safe and it works, basically. But eventually, yeah, maybe in 10 years' time, if regulation allows, that's what we'll all be doing. Doesn't necessarily mean they're being holding it back in a law. Because I think the narrative you're talking about is one where they got the Jetsons, but you man ain't ready for that, and we don't want to scare the public. I don't think it's that, but it's more to do with what he's saying in terms of like just getting it ready and thing.
No, my narrative is not even coming from a place of the public will be scared. It's more so how can we make more money out of the consumer by holding back tech so we can give them a new iPhone every year with a little something new. But we already had all this new stuff already, but let's just give it to you yearly so we can make more money. That's where I've always seen it.
I hear that.
They fleecing us and they continue to fleece us. This is it's a standard thing. It's like, it's a rite of passage for them.
But I definitely think Apple is like slipping a bit. I don't think anyone's really like jumping ahead to upgrade this time. The new features are so minuscule, there's no fucking point.
So how long till we all got flying cars?
Flying karting is difficult. I think the reason why we don't have flying cars is because they could do it, but it's not feasible. Like isn't like you see how the accidents that we have on a normal thing.
We're not gonna have accidents because it's gonna be all the stuff that they do is gonna you just put it into the car with the AI, just like Waze.
No, but it's about airspace though. It's about like there has to be an air system. There has to be traffic control.
You're saying there's gonna be
an
avoidance system, just like the drones.
Just like look, you see like how Waze will direct you on your thing. You put that into the car. So it's not gonna be free-handed. Like when you're in your Sky, you can't
self-driving.
You can't do that. And you turn and one. There's roads and maps that your car can fly on. You know what I'm trying to say? And with the whole GPS system and that, you can set that up normal, light.
Overnight,
Not overnight, but they've been rolling it out for years. They've been working on this.
I agree with you.
They've been working on this stuff for years. You're trying to say that the 5G, the putting these. I'm compromised. I'm saying they could put these things in place so they could be pretty safe, and then obviously it's not human error in it. So as long as the software is up to date, and there's going to be probably less accidents up there.
You think
maybe
that's what you think? Nah.
In theory,
because there's more space.
In theory, I see it.
Yeah, possible.
The cars are not gonna the distances for the gaps, the braking speeds, the whatnot. It's all automated. You know what I'm trying to say? You take human error out of the equation, then it's anything short of system failure.
Are you talking about a world where there's flying cars and cars on road, right? And then what's the landing system going to be like then?
See, now you're going too far.
Give me some time.
There are flying cars that exist, but the thing is, the way they take off is like a normal plane. It's not like a horizontal, a vertical takeoff.
Runway.
It's a runway thing, so that's what makes it probably a bit difficult, and probably it's mad expensive.
Yeah.
You gotta have a runway in your back garden basically to use it.
Yeah. You can't tell me we got planes, helicopters, all that stuff, and we can't have flying cars. Of course we can.
I'm not getting in it though.
They exist, but they're not commercially. It's not commercially viable. What it costs to create, what it's going to cost to buy them. They need to work out a system. It's like what Brent said. They need to work out economically something that makes sense, and then they'll give it to us. It's not because the technology is not there. It's because it doesn't make sense to produce it, to buy it. It doesn't make sense.
Infrastructure wise, that the whole
the second them they can turn that into a profit for their company. That's the new thing. But obviously we're not there yet.
Governments will slow all of that down though, 100%. Because they have to look at how they can make money from this. And then they'll look at safety issues as well and how easy it will be for people to get from country to country. So all the migration issues that we have now, if you pay in a so-called criminal gang, you just get on that thingy.
Across the channel in your flying car,
bro, they'll drone that quickly.
They will shoot you out.
They will shoot you out
of the sky. Are you crazy?
They will send the drones, bro. You're gone.
Oh gosh.
Send you back to the sea, bro. Unfortunately.
Or they could just make flying cars as expensive as buying a helicopter or buying a jet, and just regulate it in regards to price.
So only the elite buy it.
Yeah.
But it's mad though, because like Concorde, you could get to New York in 3 hours, but because it wasn't financially feasible, it just doesn't exist. So we've gone backwards in speed. Sometimes the technology might be there, but it's like, yo, is anyone willing to pay for this? Is it viable economically?
Not too long ago, that Concorde was a technological advancement that happened back in the day, but it's no longer around now.
Their carbon footprint was mad as well. It was doing the madness. You get me? I'm pissed on it.
I mean, they would have improved that by now, though. If they kept making Concords, they would have improved some of that, though. The fuel efficiency, the damage to the ozone layer and stuff Well, I like to think they would, because I mean we still have issue with the planes now, innit?
If it was profitable, they would. They don't give a shit about that. I don't think.
That's true.
Because how many celebrities are flying private and like that's mad fucking up the environment, but they do it because it's just like there's a market for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
What was they running at a loss by the end of it?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Okay. I don't think it ever made it made sense financially. If it's making money, let's go. They're gonna do it no matter what.
That's true.
No, but it was pretty popular in the 90s and that.
No, as a kid, what I heard was Concorde. And then when I got old enough to fly Concorde, I realized, Concorde's done now.
Since like 2001, there was an accident. They just wrapped up after that. It crashed in France or some shit like that. They just wrapped up.
But yeah, let's bring this back to Pocket.
Okay.
Right. In what ways, do you like see the future of diversity and inclusion, like in the tech industry in the future, and how do you kind of want to play your part in that?
Obviously the part I want to play is to help. Do you know what I'm saying? I think obviously economically it's important that we're in those rooms because I think tech is the future in terms of where the money is. Also, I think in terms of how it's going to impact the regular everyday citizen, it's going to be important that we are in the room basically. So I hope to help. We talked about one time actually how Amazon developed an AI tool to help with recruiting basically. And they realized that it was pushing men's CVs over women's CVs, basically.
Oh, wow.
And then they basically took out all of the data regarding like gender, so you couldn't read it, and it was still doing the same thing, but basing it on words like that. Men would use words like decisive and execute and stuff like that. So representation is important. Whether it's going in the right direction right now, I don't necessarily think it is.
Okay.
I think we had a window last 2 years where every company was like, "Woo!" Like you know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter, Black Square Up. But a lot of that rhetoric kind of fallen by the wayside. I'm having those conversations where I can see the energy is changed. Do you know what I mean? So
how do we kind of change that though? Because if, for example, it benefits certain companies to kind of keep the ratios how it is now, right, and not really open the door for people of color and stuff like this, right? How do we kind of change that? Because is it more so people like yourselves creating businesses for ourselves, or is it more so trying to get into those rooms and have the conversation with these people as well?
There's no one answer.
Okay.
It's like a war. It's a combination of many things. One man's going to be on the beach. One man's going to be on the plane. So we need people like what I'm doing. We need people who are working within those organizations, bringing in their brethren. We need, do you know what I'm saying? People starting companies, and then those companies become the next Google. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, the ratio is looking a bit different. It's going to be, without using a corporate word, it's multi-pronged. Basically, like there's no one answer like to fixing this problem.
But what advice would you give to somebody who's like maybe just leaving college or whatever and wants to get into tech, and they're black?
It depends what they're into. Like, are they like, do they want to work in sales? Do they want to actually build stuff? Like, figure out what is your kind of like, what you're kind of drawn towards, basically. I would say the reality is there probably are apprenticeships that you can do. That I would recommend. That's after my time. When I was at uni, this apprenticeship thing wasn't there. So look into apprenticeships that you can just go get your feet wet and learn, because there's nothing better than on-the-job training. I've hired people who were just apprentices, and like I'm like, yeah, you lot are much better than the graduate. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And yeah, engage with the content that's been put out there as well. That's what I did a lot. I listened to a lot of podcasts, a lot of tech podcasts. There's now a lot more that I like from people from our kind of background and stuff like that. Networking events. Do you know what I'm saying? Find people that are in the space that you want to get into and learn.
Speaking of events, you got an event coming up, innit?
Yeah, so we got a live show, October 25th.
Sick.
Sekish Live. It's going to be me and Abadesi. It's our second live show, actually. The one we did was just before COVID and everything just got locked off. But yeah, it's going to be special guests. There's going to be around 100, 200 people in the room. It's going to be a chance to mingle, network. Should be fun.
What can the layman like myself kind of expect? So if I come there, what can I expect?
So first, you're going to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be an entertaining show. We're going to talk about tech news and pop culture news. It's not going to be mad technical. It's going to be stuff like what we're talking about here today and other things that are as fun. And then you're going to have a chance to meet people in the industry as well. So if you want to learn about tech and mingle, people from our kind of background, that's the space that you need to be, basically.
Okay. October 25th?
October 25th, yeah.
Okay, cool. There's another event somebody asked about. I think is it Black Tech or something?
Black Tech Fest.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you going to be there?
I don't think I will be, but I heard it's dope.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you know if they've done this many times, or is this
I think it's their second or third year.
Okay.
Second or third year. It's dope though. It looks good. The lineup is hard.
Okay, cool. I might have to look at that as well.
Also, a broad question, right? When people say, "Oh, I work in tech," they just say tech. That's this. I feel like tech is a buzzword right now. Tech,
Yeah.
What can you list me some jobs that are under tech, like specific jobs?
The thing is, at a tech company, there's roles that are at every company. So a man could be at tech and be in HR, could be in sales, customer success.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously roles that are like building products. So that's like an engineer, front end designer, back end engineer, software engineer, those type of roles. So it could be anything. So there's stuff that's like, you could be a normal career person in a tech company. And then
you don't have to build tech to be a tech company.
Not
so your
at all.
company don't build any tech.
I do. So I'm a software engineer by trade, and our job board that I built was custom and uses AI and engineering and stuff like that to build that. But what I'm saying is, if you wanted to work at Facebook, you could be a salesperson at Facebook, just on the blower, like, how's it going, or HR.
Yeah.
All those functions exist within tech companies. They're just normal companies. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so just because you can work for a tech company, but not doing anything technological within the company, but you just say I work in tech.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always look at it. I looked at it like you had a job which was
Not at all.
on the computer.
Not at all.
You know what I mean?
So a friend of mine, he basically used to work in charity as a fundraiser on the phone, whatever.
Yeah.
Networked, managed to get a job as like an account exec at a software company.
Yeah.
On 6 figures, commission easily. Like just sales.
Okay.
But he's selling software instead of selling something else.
I think there's an influx of people right now who are trying to get into tech.
Yeah.
And who obviously I feel like the industry is affluent, it's growing, right? Someone asked in the chat, what are the like pathways for adults who kind of want to get into tech, who might have maybe no experience or might want a career change?
So if you don't want to learn to code, which is completely understandable, I would say tech sales is the easiest way to get in. You can start off as like a junior account exec, work your way up basically. And the thing about it is like most of these tech companies, it's not like you're selling double glazing. A lot of times there's leads, you know what I'm saying? It's easy, relatively straightforward to do. So I would say account exec. Customer success as well is another easy role. Not easy, but easy to get into. And then if you're working in marketing, you can work at marketing in a tech company. If you're working in HR, you can work in HR in a tech company. Depends where you are in your career. Do you know what I'm saying? But like there's ways in.
Makes sense.
Obviously my job board as well, pocketjobs.com. Check that one out. That's our job board. We've got lots of companies hiring as well, entry level internships as well.
And is this what you do 24/7?
Yeah, full time.
95.
Dope.
Full
You have
time.
any offices?
No, we're all remote.
Ah.
All remote, man. From day before COVID, remote. I
And
was too cheap to have an office.
Where do you look to take pockets?
Just keep growing what we're doing. Just keep building it. I want it to be the premier destination for people to like level up their career, to get content, events, conference as well one day. So hopefully there's a good few things in our future. But I take it 1 year at a time because obviously when you run a business, bro, it's just like what we're doing this year.
And how big is your team currently?
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell me what your turnover is?
No, I can't say that, bro.
Yeah, just
I'm trying to get my moves. I'm still on the train, bro. I'm still on public transport. I'm not gonna say that. But to be fair, one thing most people don't know, in the US, if you want to know a company's turnover, it's all private. In the UK, you just go on company's house and you can find anyone's company accounts.
Okay.
I find myself doing that sometimes. I'm like, right, this man won an award. What's his company saying? Google it. I'm like, okay.
Okay,
So it's all open if you really want to find it.
And the person who stole from you is an accountant.
No, it wasn't an accountant. I can't go into
it
it,
a
bro.
lover?
Yeah, I can't go into it, bro. It's
was a
legal,
lover.
man. Yeah. Probably shouldn't have even mentioned it, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people all your socials, the best place to find you, get in contact
Yes.
with Pocket and everything?
Yeah, so if you want to follow my company, Pocket, on socials, it's POC in Tech. So POCIN Tech.
Okay.
We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. Techish Pod for my podcast. Yeah.
How often do you record Techish?
It's an episode every week, but we record
Okay,
twice
cool.
a month, basically.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Sick.
And then we got the last question we asked. Or do you want to go ahead now?
No, you can ask it. Yeah.
So we've got 2 questions we asked our guests at the end of the interviews. So tell us something about yourself that no one knows.
That no one knows.
Nobody knows.
Oh, bro, I'm an open book, man. There's nothing that no one knows. Oh, bro, you man put me on the spot.
Well, while you're thinking about that,
Okay.
second question is biggest life lesson.
Biggest life lesson. They're all cliches though, man. Obviously, fucking trust your gut. Like, it's never lied to me. I always regret not following what I thought initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And then you thought about the first question?
That no one knows.
Only a few people know.
Only a few people
Yeah.
know.
Doesn't have to be like nobody at all.
I'll say, yeah. I've never said this before on public platform. So during COVID, man started getting mad anxiety, panic attacks, all that shit that I thought like, that's the dead man problem. I don't understand it, whatever. And I was just consuming so much information about COVID and this, that it just overwhelmed, man. I had to take a break. So this whole mental health conversation, as corny as some people think it is, it actually is a real thing. Like, look after yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Then it like, and man, I had to go and do that therapy and all that stuff, and it worked for me. So
This is such a common theme.
Yeah,
Each genius that comes on and sits on that particular seat.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing therapy?
So I did therapy before the panic attacks, where it was more just like talk therapy and like, how you doing, how's it going, how's your day, and that was helpful. Don't get twisted, in it. Like, I'm not that closed off as a person, so just chatting to a person to me helped. But what I did when I had my panic attacks, I did this therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's less about speaking about your problems and more about giving you tangible actions to do. See me, I'm a tangible person. You get me? I need to know, like, what should I do? Like, if I have these attacks, like, what's the next step, basically? And she helped me deconstruct it, basically, and gave me like, yo, for today you're doing boom, boom, boom. For today you're doing, 3 o'clock you're gonna go for a walk or whatever. And it gave me that structure to kind of get out of it. Because at one point I was like, bro, I don't know if I'm getting out of this. Like, leaving the yard is now getting to be a problem. And she was like, if you don't fix it, that's how people end up with, like, I think they call it arachnophobia. I could get it wrong, but it's people that are like proper shook to leave the yard and they don't ever leave. So I nipped it in the bud, and myself for the last couple of years anyway.
Whoa! So you were imprisoned in your house?
No, I wasn't, but it was starting to get to be a thing where if I left my yard feeling a bit sick, like I'm just getting anxiety, bro, for no reason, no damn reason. Like, there was no like conscious reason at all. And I had to kind of deconstruct that and unpack it. Like, when I say to you, I was in the mud for a little bit. It was a problem, but the therapy helped.
Was it difficult for you to accept that you needed to go to therapy?
No, because I knew, I was like, this ain't right. If you're not well, you go see a doctor, bro. Like, if you're not well, you go see someone whose job it is to work on this shit.
And
I never had that thing of like, therapy. I can't do that. No, I was like, yo, fix this. How do I fix this?
Okay. And was it the right one the first time?
No, so like I said, I was originally doing therapy where it was just talking.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Don't get twisted. If you've got stress, that's cool. If you are like one of those people, you're like, my brethren ain't really listening to man right now. Like, therapy is good because it's the type of listening that you just don't get from your peoples. Some people are like, oh, my friends can talk to me. Nah, bro, they're listening, but it's a conversation. They're waiting to respond, vice versa. But when it's a therapist, it's like they're just there just to hear your shit and your shit only. And that's a special kind of conversation. So that's good. But that wasn't what I needed at the time for when I had my anxiety.
And those anxiety attacks,
panic attacks,
knocks you down.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it was terrible.
What does it feel like? Like, what?
That's a very good question. So the problem with panic attacks is that, like, when you don't know what they are in the beginning, that's how they get you fucked up. So you think that you're having a heart attack. So you're like, man's got mad chest pain, and you think you're having a heart attack. So then, what makes it worse is that when you think that you're having a heart attack, what's the reaction? You get more scared. So a lot of the symptoms that you have of anxiety are causing you to have symptoms, and then you feel worse about the symptoms. So it's a vicious cycle, basically. So then when you get to a therapist, they're like, okay, all these symptoms you're having, this is all anxiety related. It's normal. Don't worry about it. And you think, why am I paying better money to hear this? But like, sometimes you need it.
You need it, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
if your friend told you, oh, you know what, the same thing they told you, would that have the same effect? Or is it like you need a professional?
You need an authority figure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it wrong with basics.
That's
So
what
motherfuckers sometimes, innit?
Yeah.
You need no, but like, if someone comes to you, so when I first had a panic attack, I went to the doctors, innit? Like, the GP, emergency room. I was thinking I'm having a heart attack. Doctor was like, yo, man, just have a glass of wine, chill out. Basically, innit? He was stressed, innit? It was COVID times. He was like, bro, have a glass of wine, chill out, you're good. Basically, that wasn't enough for me. I was like, bro, but I don't understand, like, what's going wrong, innit? So then when you speak to a therapist who specializes in this and sees this all the fucking time, she's like, listen, this is normal. This is what's happening to you. This is why it's happening to you. Here's how you can intercept it. This is what you should do. This is how you structure your time. It's a different level of roadmap and planning to kind of fix your kind of problems.
Do you think you've had a panic attack before?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't think so, you know.
So you haven't felt that sharp pain in your chest?
Do you know what? If I'm being honest, there's been one time.
And you thought it was indigestion?
No. I knew what it was because it happened right after an event. After something happened, yeah. So then
What was
I
it?
thought to myself, this guy. Basically, I left the house. So again, I don't know if this is a panic attack, but basically, I left my house, went to put something in the car, right? And my daughter came out, on my road, it's a one-way thingy. So I'm kind of conscious, like when I'm hearing cars coming or whatever. But I know now I've seen her come out. But then in my left eye, I've not seen her again. And then I've heard a car coming, speeding. Shit. So I've just shouted her name, innit? And it's just made her like freeze rather than kind of run type thing. So she stopped herself from going into the road. Some huge Range Rovers come through. And I just thought to myself, my life would have been over here. You know what I'm saying? So that, every time I think about that particular thing that happened, that's like the only thing that I guess in life that's made me feel like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that may be what a panic attack is. I don't know. But besides that, yeah.
I think they come in different forms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like even myself, I've got anxiety. Even the last 2 weeks, my heart has been beating irregularly. I've got chest pains. My heart, I'll just...
So you know what, sorry to interrupt you. You know what the wickedest thing is? As soon as you start telling people and opening up, like, oh, I've had this, every man, yeah, you know what, actually, this, that. And I'm like, bruv, no, why is no one telling man this from...
Oh, no, I've told people this. I ain't just told anyone in this room this.
No, I mean, just, but I just mean in a conversation, basically, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just met, and obviously now you're willing to open up because I've basically said it. I'm saying in my past experience, I found that as soon as I've told somebody I've had this issue, all of a sudden now, I feel like man's not really alone because actually it's more of a common thing than you think.
I hear you. Please.
Sorry, carry on, bro, as well. I apologize.
What happened to him was like, it was fair, right? And it was the great unknown in that moment. And then, boom, a physical reaction. That sounds different than what you're going through, what you were going through.
100%. No, I was talking to what my man was saying about how, like, he said that he's got chest pains and whatever. Like, so that's why I was saying. That definitely is a fucking situation. Obviously, I wouldn't say that was a panic attack, but that's like, that was like a shot of adrenaline. Because
I think, weren't you talking about whenever you think
but
about
it's also,
it, whenever you think
thinking
he
about
gets anxiety. That's what he was kind of referring to.
What, is that having anxiety a panic attack?
This is what
You could have anxiety. Have you ever had a panic attack?
Anxiety can cause a panic attack. Yeah, I've had situations where I've been in a situation where I feel super, super anxious and my heart just starts going crazy. It's beating really, really fast. I start to get really, really hot. And I just feel flustered and I gotta just...
And it's for no reason.
Deep breath. No, it's because I feel anxious.
But as in, can you pinpoint what caused it?
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I know I feel uncomfortable in the situation. Maybe I feel pressured, maybe I feel just uneasy because of what's occurring and I start to get a panic attack. But it hasn't happened, the panic attacks haven't happened a lot, but my heart, having this irregular heartbeat, has happened in the last couple of weeks and I feel anxious at the same time.
I thought all that stuff was foolishness, like panic attacks, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. I thought that was just like foolishness. I've got that mentality that I just put it down to like weakness.
Yeah, I had the same mindset though, 100%. I was like, bro,
I just said like it's not a thing. It's not real. It's not a real thing. You get me?
Yeah.
I experienced something that I could only call a panic attack one time in my life, and then it probably made me soften.
Yeah, I know.
I got humbled a little bit.
Humble myself a little bit. It made me soften myself towards other people because sometimes you're not in control. At one time, I've received some news, and the only way I could describe it is a panic attack. I wasn't actually in control of like my feelings. Like it floored me. I needed to catch my breath. I couldn't breathe. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it actually floored me receiving this information, and I was like, whoa. And obviously, like I got past it, but in that moment, I'm like, that must have been a panic attack.
Yeah,
because,
basically.
Like I was panicking and shit. Like, do you get what I mean? Like I was panicking, I couldn't control it. Like it was mad. So I'm saying, okay, cool. Maybe this is a real thing. You get me?
But that wouldn't be something you go to therapy for. If the anxiety keeps on popping you down, that's when it is, need to go to therapy.
Yeah. If it's preventing you from living your life, that's when you've got to go. Obviously, a one-time situation is not probably the case. But it makes me laugh because obviously, like, I watch Top Boy sometimes, innit? And like, I see the people who don't understand mental health because they're like, oh, the Shane's having a heart attack. It's like, he's not having a heart attack, bro. They're trying to say that he's having like anxiety. Yeah. But people who are watching that are like, he's having...
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it was. Because if he's having a heart attack, like, he's got to get that scene, bro. He's basically, he found out his mum died, he lost his guap, and basically, I think there was a third thing that happened, his drugs got taken. And he's like, oh my God, like, he can't breathe.
No, but that was one of my biggest gripes with this
that's what I'm trying to say, though.
That they never followed through with all the Shane's little mini heart attack thing.
It wasn't a heart attack.
That come to fruition at the end? Like, man, you know what I mean?
He had a conversation with Sully.
For it. He never got consulted about it.
He had a convo with Sully, I think in the previous season, where he was like, bro, like, does your heart ever just race for no reason? And Sully's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
So he's basically trying to confide in his boy that,
you know what?
like,
I didn't clock it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought Deshane had this underlying
nah,
cardiovascular heart issue
nah.
that was triggered by him
Stress.
getting angry, stress, and
Nah.
you open my eyes. You open my eyes.
It's crazy, you know, because the thing is, yeah, like Brent was kind of saying, like everyone who's been here, every guest, right? Black man has been here. There's a guest, right? Has spoken about going to therapy, and they're all doing and thriving in their respective fields. This is part of the secret, man. I think there's something in it.
Are you gonna go? Yeah.
I think so. I just need to find a problem.
If you don't feel like you need it, I don't think there's no need to force it. Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that me going to therapy was the secret to anything that
Yeah.
I've done. I think it's basically the lifestyle that I was leading, which was very high stress, led me to there. So I don't know if it's like, yo, if I had like going to therapy is the key to success. I think it's basically sometimes trying to strive for success, you end up fucking yourself up a little bit, and you need to kind of like.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is to me.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because the reality is, I feel like everyone, to be fair, if you're alive, man, and you're an adult, there's going to be certain things that are stressing you. But some of us can kind of handle it more than others.
Yeah.
And I think those of us who can kind of handle it, it's only for so long. You know what I'm saying? So it's best to kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I'm joking about, you know, say, I have to find a problem. But I know for a fact. I'm just kind of good at suppressing certain things. But one day,
Well, you might snap.
God forbid, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm hearing you guys talk about this, the importance of it and how it's helped, it's been successful, that's the thing that kind of attracts me to it.
Yeah.
Rather than it just being a buzz thing or something to do.
But is it more, maybe just for you or just generally speaking, therapy, is it just talking to someone and getting things off your mind, or is it that you're seeking the advice that this specialist can give you? Because sometimes I don't feel like this stranger has the answers to my problems. Like I might know what they are.
Yeah.
Right? Talking to you ain't gonna help. Maybe me just talking full stop will help. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily feel like you have the answers.
They ain't gonna give you the answers anyway.
Yeah.
If they give you the answers, then they're definitely not doing their job right. I remember being in a situation where I was like, you know, in a previous relationship, I was like, oh, is this like, am I in the right relationship? She's like, I ain't gonna tell you. You like, I was like, but give me the answer, please. Like, she was like, no, like, you gotta figure it out, basically. But what I will say is, that's a fair point. I think the therapy that worked best for me was the cognitive behavioral therapy, which was much more action and much more like lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And giving guidance in that way. But you're right, sometimes it's just in talk therapy. It might not resonate with everyone. I'm not gonna sit there and say every man should do this. No, I'm not gonna give that spiel. But I will say that if you feel like, yo, I got things to get off my chest, that might help.
Yeah.
But a lot of people got brethren that they can chat to, and it's not a big deal.
No, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Last question, right? If you don't mind, right?
That's all right.
When it came to actually finding a therapist, how did you go about finding the right person?
Google.com, man.
Okay, cool,
Google.com, man. Just nothing special.
cool.
Like,
Was the
but then
person
I've
black?
given references to my therapist, so sometimes you can ask your friend if this worked for you. Like,
Yeah.
we saying, can you think? Do you know what I mean?
Did it matter to you if the person was black?
You know, personally, no,
Okay, cool.
because like, it's a difficult question. I think one of the therapists I had, she was a Jewish lady, innit? And I was telling her like certain cultural things where I was like, oh, you know, fam wants me to do this, blah blah blah, and she's like, yeah, I kind of understand. So I think it depends what your source of your problem is. If your problem is like, yo, it's a cultural issue, maybe your family has expectations of you, maybe you want to have somebody who's from your background that can understand. My ones were more just like just me as a human, like operating through the world. It's just not really, it's not really working right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes
sense, man.
I actually appreciate an outsider's perspective. I'll be honest with you. Like I was telling her about a situation where like my dad wasn't around for a very, very long time for reasons out of his control, basically. But I grew up around a lot of people who had a similar story, whose fathers wasn't around. So I was explaining that to her, and to her, Jewish lady, prim and proper background, she was like, nah, that's kind of fucked up. And I was like, is it? She was like, yeah. And I was like, if I sit with it, maybe I've just run with it and taken it and it's cool and I've acknowledged it and just kept it moving. But maybe there is something that an outsider can say actually that necessarily isn't right.
Yeah.
What you went through.
Yeah. Makes sense to me, man.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Do you think you could have a Jewish therapist, Emmanuel?
I'm glad you said it, yeah. For some reason, when Michael said that, it seemed appealing to me. No, for real. because it's like, again, obviously, I'm gonna be stereotyping here, right? But
giving disclaimers, man.
no, I'm just saying, right? But it's kind of like I have the feeling that this Jewish therapist will be very good at their job, and will kind of understand some of the issues, because I'm assuming they're very into their culture, so they understand that balance between being loyal, for lack of a better word, to your culture and understanding the world we live in. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that will be there, and she'll be able to articulate certain things to me. You know what I'm saying? And I think also, sometimes having a woman tell you certain things, I think is a very good thing as well, rather than having a man tell you certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like just men can't always see the perspective of a woman. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they're able to give us insights that we may struggle to find for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I think there will be benefits to like all of it, whether it be having someone that's the same race, someone that's the same 100%. Sex or different. Yeah. It's like what you're saying, depending on what you want your outcome to be, depending on what you're looking for in your therapy. Because sometimes you might need someone to challenge your way of thinking, innit? So it'd be cool to have, say, like you got a black man there, culturally, he understands your upbringing, your culture, your whatnot. But if you need something to be challenged, sometimes there might not be nothing wrong with someone saying, nah, maybe that's not necessarily right. You know what I'm trying to say? Like someone might be more accepting of things because you're used to our culture and how we bring and how we've been brought up. So it's like in your mind, you're saying, yeah, all right, cool. But sometimes you might need someone to challenge it from different and say, well, that's not normal, innit? Like you know what I'm saying? Not everybody grew up living like that. There's different aspects, different points of the spectrum. Like, no, that's not.
Yeah. You know where it can go wrong though? So I had a Colombian brethren, and he was basically talking to like a therapist, and he mentioned how like you used to get licks growing up, innit? Like it was what it was. And she was like, "Oh, so how long were you abused for?"
Imagine.
He was vexed. He's like, "How dare you?" He's like, "How dare you? Like, how can you say that about my mum?" Like, so that's when the cultural mismatch can actually, you know what I mean? Like, it might just be too, it's too different. The gap is too big.
Depending on what you want, sometimes being challenged is because everybody's idea of normal is different, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And maybe your normal hasn't been working for you.
That's the good point.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Maybe your normal hasn't been working for you, so you need a different perspective. Someone that lived differently, that was raised differently, that does differently things to show you the other side of the aisle. Like, there's a different way to do things, that kind of thing.
Would it be easier for you to open up to somebody who didn't look like you? Well, what I mean by that is, would you bring like a hostile approach, knowing full well it's a black man looking at you? Can you open up to a black man like that?
Yeah, I could. In my mind, if it was going to talk about certain things, I don't necessarily know if I would want someone who understands more, if that makes sense. When I'm speaking to the things that I've gone through growing up and the violence and the whatnot, I might not necessarily want someone that sympathizes and gets it. I might want someone that sees it raw, that would be horrified and shocked by it because it's totally worlds apart. This ain't a normal way
that's true.
of living to give me that perspective of it. You know what I'm trying to say? So again, it just depends on what kind of frame of mind I'm in and what the kind of conversation I'm looking to have. I could see benefits to me having a black man there. I could see the benefits of me having a black woman because interactions with men and women are different. I could also see the benefits of it being someone that's a totally different race. I just think it just depends on where you're at and what you're looking for. You get me? I'm guessing you would meet different psychiatrists and stuff before you make your choice and just see what works for you. But I can make arguments for all of them, to be honest. I'm not someone that would just say, oh, I definitely need a black man or definitely need a black person or whatever.
What you get out of a therapy session, is it contingent on what it is that you look to put in?
How do you mean? As in, like, what I'm trying to get out of it? In that
I come to them and lie to them, I'm not going to get anything.
Yeah, you're wasting your money, bro. Might as well just give it to me. Like, if you're going to do that, you know what I mean?
So you have to be completely transparent.
I try to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, if it's not going to be effective. I'm quite a transparent person anyways. So some people are really guarded up. They got layers that they ain't let nobody into. So I can imagine that being fucking scary. Yeah,
and this is why I asked you the question, Mags, because you would have to literally shell all your layers and say, "Here you go. This is the raw bone of it now."
But also, you can find a black man who has that, oh my God, this is horrific mind state as well. But because he's black doesn't mean he's going to resonate with your story.
100%.
Yeah, no, that's
But there could be a sense of desensitized mindset, knowing and seeing the life in which it is that he has gone through, and still apply this whole lack of experience to what he'd be saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. But I just feel like the person you're looking for can still be black.
Yeah.
They just have to have maybe not gone through or not experienced firsthand the things you have.
Yeah, they could be middle class, upper class.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm saying, not.
So essentially, because it seemed like you were looking for the white perspective. As am I right?
He said outsider perspective.
Yeah, not
basically.
necessarily, not necessarily about colour, but yeah, I get what you mean though. Like an
someone-
outsider's perspective.
Like
maybe,
someone who almost like hear your stories and be horrified by it.
to a certain
Right?
extent.
So
yeah.
they don't look at it as normal, and they're not telling you, oh, that's just the way things are, whatever. I feel like there's black people who are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
That's true.
definitely.
Yeah,
Makes
I
sense.
agree.
So I'm guessing you've never done it before.
No,
You would though potentially.
when I'm about 50, I'm
Yeah,
storing
50.
up,
Really?
storing. 60. Yeah. Did we say 60? I'm storing out.
Yeah,
I'm
Storing
building
out,
I'm building
okay.
out.
Saving up.
Mm.
I hear it.
Makes sense.
I'm not trying to. I don't think it's a thing where everyone's got to do it, or it's like I'm not Charlemagne or where I'm like everyone's got to do it. Like it's just like if you feel for it, do it.
True indeed.
I think there shouldn't be a stigma to it, but it's not a panacea for everything.
I think the stigma's starting to just dwindle, to be fair.
Yeah,
True.
I think like people are having open conversations about it. It's becoming less taboo,
100%,
less embarrassing, so to speak. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, combos like this help, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Is there a chance of people getting too reliant on therapy? Is that a thing?
I mean, you know what? I think there is. I'm worried about people that go therapy non-stop every week ad infinitum. I don't think necessarily that is ideal. I think so. The talk therapist that I had, she was trying to keep this going for years. I was like, well, I've got a problem. Can I get it solved, basically? And I went to the CBD therapist, and it was like, no, CBD, cognitive behavioral, CBT, sorry. And she was like, yeah, there's a 12-week program. After that, you're good. And when I go back to her, and I'm like, I think I need a couple sessions. She's like, no, let me hear your problems. No, you're good. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't think this never-ending therapy thing probably is the one. But for some people, it works. But to me, I'm like, you should have resolved your issues to a certain extent.
so a good therapist will remove the crutch.
I think so. That's my opinion.
So you don't have anything to worry about, man.
No, I'm
Don't
not
get
worried.
sucked in.
No, impossible. But the thing is, I agree with you. There has to be some level of us being able to deal with certain things ourselves. But I just feel like we've always been fed that particular part of the narrative. So this is why we're kind of in the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But if there's some nice, healthy balance, then it's beautiful and it works. I'm for doing anything
But isn't-
that, you know.
But doesn't that exist though? Because prior to that person going to therapy, they didn't go to therapy,
Yeah.
and they were dealing with the issues themselves their whole entire lives.
That's why they
But now
need.
they- but now
That's
they've
why they
got to
need
a
a
point
bit of
where they need
balance. Yeah, exactly. Which is good. That's
But what I'm saying is, give me the tools to handle that.
Yeah.
Don't make man relying on you. Like, you're not my barber. I ain't got to see you like
Yeah.
forever and
Exactly.
ever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want a therapist I roll with every day, like Axe. What's her name?
Axe?
She's not really a therapist.
No, but she is though.
She's just his.
Yeah, I want that. She's a therapist though, to be fair to her. She's
Yeah.
a therapist,
She's
she's
a-
a life coach, she'll sharpen you up.
Who's that?
She's a mind F.
Was it not Claire, is it? What's her name?
She's a fixer, a mind fixer.
Mind
mind
Fixer.
whisperer.
you talking
Mind
about?
Whisperer.
Who's this?
In billions.
Oh, I don't want to
Oh, you haven't watched Billions?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that rolls with Axe. What's her name again? Why have I forgot her
forgot
name?
her
Sweet
name.
one.
Sweet one, yeah, I
That's
like
what he
her
calls
still.
Yeah.
Clean. Yeah, I want that.
Exec
Just roll with
coach.
me every day, like
That's
everywhere I
reason.
go. Huh?
There's reason.
Just reason. Anything I'm going for, let's go war cancel. Let's, you get what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm on. I'm on that. I want to roll with me 24/7. Put her on retainer.
That I can get on board with because that's more of a life coach. Like, I got this problem. How do we tackle it?
Yeah.
Therapy can be like, tell me about your childhood. And okay, listen, there's a space for that. But like right now, I'm trying to get this paper. Like, how do I get my mind right? Get this paper. Counsel me. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got a consigliere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
we should anyway.
It's fascinating.
All right, man. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up.
Yeah,
and go
before
into the
you move,
headlines.
your favorite TV series.
I got to keep it money. I say Succession.
Whew. All right.
Succession, probably.
Okay.
Cool.
Lovely.
Headlines.
Yep.
Let's get into more headlines.
All right. Pop this down, and then this down, and then this. We're here now.
All right. So, next headline. London's Gatwick Airport has been hit by more chaos due to illness amongst air traffic controllers. So
Stay away from Gatwick. people.
Yeah, man. Apparently, they're facing more flight disruption this week, but this time it's not down to the strikes, right? So, air traffic controllers at the UK's second biggest airport have been hit with COVID-19, which is forcing the busy transport hub to restrict flights. Until Sunday, a daily cap of 800 flights taking off or landing has been imposed at Gatwick to maintain safety. 164 flights will be cancelled during the outbreak. The airport says it hopes the caps will help it avoid making last-minute cancellations. Around a third of ATC staff have been hit by illness, including COVID, according to the NATS. Next headline. It's a bit of a crazy one, right? So Russia's defense ministry has released a video showing the Black Sea Fleet's commander. His name is Viktor Sokolov, right, at a conference, right? Despite Ukraine claiming to have killed this guy, right? So it's not clear when the footage, they're saying, where Viktor Sokolov appears on a video link with the defense minister was filmed. But the ministry said that the meeting with senior officials happened on Tuesday. So Ukraine's special forces said on Monday that Sokolov and 33 other officers died in a missile strike on the fleet's HQ in Sevastopol, occupied Crimea. But they did not name the admiral directly, nor did they offer any evidence that he had died. They just said the man's dead, basically. But now they're clarifying the reports. So obviously, with more information, I'll let you guys know. But the last headline is that law enforcement sources told CBS New York on Tuesday that a man wanted in a fentanyl-related death of a toddler at a Bronx daycare has been arrested. Sources say that Felix Herrera Garcia, who's the husband of the owner of this particular daycare center, was arrested on a bus in Mexico. He had been on a run since the tragedy happened more than a week ago. Surveillance photos allegedly showed him moving shopping bags from the daycare, exiting out the back alley, and leaving through overgrown grass before emergency crews arrived on September 15th. The prosecutors claimed that his wife called him before, died in 911 to get help for the children who were displaying overdose symptoms. Imagine. Yeah, man. Apparently, and trigger warning here, guys, 1-year-old Nicholas Dominici died, and 3 other children were sickened after being exposed to the same fentanyl. This according to the officials anyway. Federal authorities claim large quantities of narcotics were being stored under floorboards, on playmats, and in the closet inside the daycare. So now this guy is on the run, man. Herrera Garcia is now the 4th person to be taken into police custody in connection to this case. CBS New York was told by the DEA and Mexican authorities, that they're basically involved in tracking him down. And that's it for the headlines. It's time to pay the bills.
All right, it's also time to get into Wellness Wednesday.
The reactions, sir.
Why is it? Oh, sorry. We don't care about your wellness this Wednesday. Let's get into the reaction.
I told that.
You don't need me to bounce. Cool, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you got to go somewhere?
No, not at all. I just thought maybe you had the interview segment, then the interview's got to bounce and you do your thing.
Man, this is a family show, man. You can
Okay.
chill, man. You're allowed to
Sure.
speak as well if you want.
Okay.
He did ask for permission the first time. He
Yeah.
gave it.
Also, just to clarify why I was so surprised, right? Because normally when the guest comes, right, they chill here, and then we start the interview segment.
Okay.
You normally sit here. I'm over there. So
Thing
when
is,
you came in and just went gun ho,
I'm a podcast veteran. Though.
I
I see your
thought,
mic.
is
I'm
this-
going to it, though, man.
someone else.
I've been potting for 5 years.
A little peek behind the scenes, right? Y'all didn't see, right?
Yeah.
I asked him to sit there, slap my hand away, and he went, sorry, he said, I live here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when you come in, I thought sometimes they have like other people that are just random guests. So I thought maybe you're just another friend or
Random
like
East African guy just popped in. Nah, man, I'm here, bro.
like a Ramsey or I thought maybe it's
I was
someone from the
delivering
chat.
Uber
I thought, wait,
delivery.
is this Greek or someone? You know what I mean?
All right, let's get into the reaction. Esther's favourite part of the show, even though she's not here. I see her in the chat. Big up herself. Oh, yeah, this is just going to be some Carabao Cup talk. So I can read out some results from yesterday. Just quickly, Middlesbrough beat Bradford City 2-0. Exeter beat Luton Town 1-0. Giant killers. Are Luton really giants? But
No.
But that was a Premier League killing.
Hold on, Luton beat who?
Exeter City beat Luton 1-0.
That's
Yeah,
decent.
so they're not. This proves they're not giants.
I'm taking on Luton.
Okay then, Ipswich Town beat another giant killing, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, there I can say giants.
3-2. Mansfield and Peterborough drew 0-0. Mansfield went through on penalties. Port Vale beat Sutton United 1-0. Burnley battered Salford 4-0. And Man United cruised to victory to beat Crystal Palace 3-0. So the first story, the headline that we got here is about Man United cruising to victory, going into 4th place. Don't need to read too much about it, but we could talk about it. I'm guessing none of you watched it.
Defending champions. This is your cup. You're defending your title, man.
Told you don't want to make it out like it's some Mickey Mouse Cup. If you look at the last 4 or 5 winners of the cup, it's serious teams.
Just because City, the best team in the world, happened to win it 4 times doesn't mean it's a superior cup.
It's a serious cup.
just mean that
Mourinho
they
changed
made-
that though. He was the one that came in and took it seriously at
Who,
Chelsea. Mourinho.
Yeah,
Yeah, because before that it was a joke thing. No one cared. It was reserved
Everybody
teams.
knows. You get it in there. The finals is in February. It's the first cup you can win. You win there
Get on a roll.
early. It galvanizes you to go on and have a competition.
Yeah,
It's a
but
serious
if it's the only thing you win though, you can't use it as your. You know what I mean?
Well,
your
it's
thing.
a serious cup. It was a
Convincing victory.
yeah, should have been. Should have been. It's only
Are you
right.
Ten Hag in or out?
I'm always managers in. I'm not a manager out kind
That's
of person.
good. That's good.
I'm team
I read that.
Ten Hag to the death.
What team do you support?
Arsenal.
Come on.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Are you not playing tonight?
Yes, we are.
Who are you playing?
Brentford. Brentford.
Oh, no Raya as well.
No. Apparently,
he's
he
your
can,
number 2.
apparently he can play.
Is it?
Yeah, I read he can play.
How come? What? Because it's not the league or something?
I'm not sure, but even if he can't play, you acting like our number 2 is Matt Turner. Our number 2 is our old number 1.
How you
from-
feeling about the season
from
though?
3 weeks ago. We haven't started great,
Yeah.
but even with that said, we
Still
haven't
lost.
we haven't lost the game.
Yeah.
And even if you look at the North London derby, us playing poor resulted in a draw. Tottenham playing great resulted in a draw.
You didn't play poor.
That's a great rationalization though, I can't lie.
You know what I'm saying? So we're
You
hearing it.
didn't play poor. You lot played all right. Where you fell short and the things that you couldn't do is because Tottenham didn't allow you lot to do it. You get me? It was a tactical
No,
battle.
we had poor play, man. Like in regards to those 2
That's-
goals, it was poor play, man.
I get it and I understand why the fans will look at it. But when you have a tactical breakdown and you look at the things that you usually do well that you didn't do well is because you've done different things. The reason why you've done different things is because the way Spurs had to approach the game.
No, second half we played poor.
All right. Fair enough.
We lost 2 players. Our midfield was completely gone.
Bro, I miss Shaka, man. I don't know what we were doing. I think we've gone backwards.
But it's funny because I haven't heard we miss Xhaka at all this season apart from this game, right?
Because
So
this
do
might
we-
have been the
do we
game
miss-
where we
do
needed a
miss
man like
Xhaka,
him.
or is it just because we missed him yesterday or whatever?
But these are the key moments, though. Do you get what I'm saying? In a specific game, you might be like, we need a man with his abilities. Like Kai Havertz, I don't understand at all, just in general. I don't, yeah. I think we've gone backwards as our midfield anyway.
What's your thoughts on the Ivan Toney rumours?
I think it comes down to whether you think Nketiah is good enough, basically.
He isn't.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I think he'll be a solid mid-table. Like he's definitely a Premier League striker, but he's not gonna win you the title. And Jesus is finishing his
Ivan
ability.
Toney?
No. I'm talking about Nketiah basically right now. Whoever we bring in, we need to bring a number 9 in. Even Jesus is not a finisher,
Yeah.
and I think Jesus is amazing actually, all-round ability play, but he's just not a finisher at all.
A top striker will take you up to the next level. Ivan Toney in that team is a problem.
The rumour
It's a
is
problem.
60 million. But I saw a couple of other pundits talking about him and a couple of commentators. And do you feel like he has too many penalty goals to be considered an out-and-out like gunman?
No, he's a skeng man. He scores, man. Strikers take penalties, man. You can't knock it. It's what it is.
Who knows? Viktor Osimhen might be available. 'Cause obviously him and Napoli are going through it at the moment.
I should put them on done out here.
Because they put out a very disparaging video about him on their TikTok. I
Right on.
haven't seen it though.
Where they're saying I'm a coconut. I'm not a man.
No,
I'm
this
not.
is here.
Oh, this is here.
Yeah.
No, but this ain't what they're going crazy about.
Yes, it is.
I didn't
What
know
happened?
I didn't know you had that up.
So you missed the penalty and they put it on their TikTok. and then his agent came out and said, "Wait, have we done that?"
What was the result of the
That's
game?
wild.
Oh, you know what? This makes more sense to me because this is the story that I heard, but this ain't the video that I'm watching. So where's that coconut video from? Is that old or new? Huh?
They put
Yeah,
up a
I'm
video
gonna
saying
show
he
you.
was a coconut.
You're gonna
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
Yeah, where he's saying I'm a coconut. Saying I'm not a man, I'm not a girl. This one here. I'm not a man, I'm not a boy, I'm a coconut.
What?
Look,
What?
I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl, I'm a coconut. And it's got a song playing, a song saying I'm a coconut, I'm a coconut. So I saw a lot of outrage.
So this was on their official account
I don't know, I just saw it.
because this is wild.
There's no way that's on Napoli's official.
I'm not gonna
account.
lie, I feel like we're merging reaction and done it here because I forgot to send it to you during the episode, but I was gonna send it to you because I'm saying this is, I don't know the context behind this, but this is bonkers.
This video can't be from the official account. It's impossible.
That's wild.
It's impossible.
As much as it was.
I mean, yeah, I should have done some. I didn't even get a chance to do more research into it because that's what I actually wanted to check,
Okay,
where
okay.
it came from. I needed the context of the video. I wanted to know where it came from, whatnot. And I saw that saying that they was outraged about that they posted after they missed the penalty and they've taken liberties out of him, and that's how I read it, Brent, as well.
I don't even understand the framing. It's not a TikTok frame. Like there's so much like blank space.
Well,
Oh,
we're saying plus. That's a Napoli sign.
Hold on, I think
Yeah, I know.
someone said that the Napoli
It might be there,
account
yeah.
liked the
Oh, they
post.
liked. Oh,
They
man.
liked the post.
Who's
They
in
like-
charge of their socials, bruv?
Napoli like this one.
Yeah, the coconut video.
Okay, so what does it mean? Because I'm guessing I know if I
Oh,
call a
and-
black man a
and-
coconut, I know what I was calling him, but I'm guessing it's not the same
Not in the same way.
connotations over there. What does this actually mean?
What the coconut?
What they're saying there,
Well,
what he's
they-
being depicted as in this, like, what does it mean to them? What does it mean?
They could be calling him a coconut as we know a coconut to be.
I don't.
I
Think,
highly
Or
doubt that.
it's a play on his hair.
I think it's a stupid joke.
I think it's about his hair.
Yeah.
Because I doubt they're calling him a coconut like a bounty. Like,
Yeah, I'm doubting that too.
yeah, I think it's to do with his hair.
Whatever it is, there's sprinklings of racism.
It's crazy, right?
Oh yeah, you can't be
It's
comparing.
borderline.
Coming to Arsenal, to be honest.
It's definitely
He was meant to come
borderline.
Arsenal before, actually. Funny enough.
Man said, I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl, I'm a coconut.
All right, so guys in the chat are saying that this was on their official account.
Oh, wild.
Yeah, I don't know if they're correct, but they're saying that was on their official account.
Yeah, I'm still stumped. You get me? That's honestly, that's why I'm so glad that it even come up because I forgot to send it to you because this was my actual plan
wow.
to talk about this. You know what I'm trying to say? That.
Merge the two together.
Yeah, well, like I said, we can go for it. Like, I am actually stumped. I still don't understand. I need like
Where's the
someone
statement from
who's
this Asian?
ingrained in Italian culture that can speak to what they was actually trying to say, because they're trying to say something. Whatever the joke is lost on us.
And it's in English as well. So if it was Italian, I don't know, like who
Yeah, because
created that?
there was a song playing and it's saying that whatever's up there. I think it's saying it like I'm a coconut or something like this. I'm
But-
It's a great rendition right there as well.
Yeah, that's-
But I think the narrative that the media are pushing is that Osherman is outraged about the penalty video and that he's threatening to take legal action. Why
Yes,
would he threaten legal action against that
but
video?
this is what I was just trying to
He's
explain
in the
to you,
video
though.
with a coconut. Was that
No,
CGI?
It's not the same video, and that's why
not
I
the
was
coconut, the penalty video.
No, I'm saying, oh, okay. I thought you were saying that. Why is he outraged about the penalty video and not the coconut video?
Well, that's a good question because I didn't hear enough about.
No, what
the
I mean is
coconut
the
video.
narrative that is being spread is that he is angry about the penalty video.
Yeah, that makes
Exactly, and
sense,
what
though.
we're
Yeah.
saying is, why is he angry about the penalty video and not mentioned the coconut video?
I'm not saying that. I get because in the coconut video, it
you
looks
said,
like
no, you did say that. You did say that. You did say that, and it was a good question.
No,
It's a very good question.
What I'm
Said
saying
I
is,
said
I
that.
think,
Okay,
I
go
think he is outraged. He is outraged about the coconut video, but the media are pushing it out like they're trying to forget about that video.
Okay.
And making it seem like the penalty video is the issue.
Is that coconut video recent as well? Is it just as new?
So people are saying there were 3 videos back to back,
Yeah.
and those were 2 of the 3.
Oh.
I can't verify this. just yet.
okay. So it's the frequency of how they bait.
So what?
They're
Did
expanding
Napoli
them.
want him out or something? Like, is this like a get Viktor out of our club campaign?
Oh no, because
Because
apparently
this
they
is-
loved him. They was doing blackface the other day.
Which means they love him.
Huh?
Which means they love him.
It was it was blackface with love.
Oh,
What happened
Lord.
before? What, the fans?
You ain't seen him dressing up as Osherman.
No.
They love this man.
Yeah.
You ain't seen what they done.
Yeah, but that's-
again.
That's
not love,
a
man.
tainted
That's not love.
Don't love me by doing blackface.
That's not love.
In
They know that's
ignorance.
wrong. They know
Not
that's
even in
wrong.
ignorance. If you know, like, it's a weird combination.
I think they're using their love for him as an excuse to get their racism off.
Yeah.
I think 2 things can be true at the same time.
Or
they love that man.
But
He just happens to be black. They can be racist and love him.
Do you feel like there's some white people who don't see anything?
Why are you putting what?
Hey, what are you doing?
200 likes.
Oh,
dope.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you feel like some white people see it as like they're paying homage, or it's like almost like a sense of endearment?
the ignorance is bliss, innit?
Yeah, that pure ignorance where they don't see nothing wrong with it. They feel like they're showing love by imitating you.
I think the majority of them know what they're doing. I think there'll be a minority of people that are ignorant to what's going on and showing love and whatnot. I think the majority of them, even if what they're doing is not totally steeped in racism, I think they're aware of what they're doing. And like I'm saying, they're using their love of him and the football and the thing as an excuse to get their shit off. Like, and obviously you won't know what's in people's hearts, but that's just the way.
The track record of Italian football fans is not good for me to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I ain't giving them. I definitely think there's some racism at the heart of that.
That's just the way I perceive it. It's a lot of them people that like Viktor Osimhen because he plays for Napoli and he's done so well.
Well, if he didn't play for them,
they don't like black people. They don't necessarily like black people.
Did you see this, like the Polish stars in your eyes, where someone dressed up as Kendrick Lamar in a complete blackface?
Mad. 3 points.
I don't know, boy.
Well, Napoli are definitely done it here, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Like, just in case there was any confusion.
That's why you
don't know.
That's why he's the one and only black player as well. Right now, I know they've had black players before, but in the squad at the moment, or starting 11 at least.
I can't think of any. I wouldn't know. What's this? Is that Kendrick?
That's the Kendrick, the blackface for the Kendrick.
For 1 second, for 0.5 seconds, I thought that was Kendrick.
Done light skin face as well. Ain't Kendrick darker than that?
That's what the makeup they had that day, I guess.
No, man, you gotta get your tones right if you're gonna do blackface.
You go Fenty, man.
Oh no, they've got 4 black players on the squad.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, Italy's still racist though. To be fair.
No.
Mad racist.
Would you take him over Ivan Toney?
I
wouldn't for my team.
He'll be more expensive. He'll have to go away for AFCON.
Oh, you've got a discount.
You got a discount? On who? On Osimhen?
Osimhen.
Oh, because now it's publicly that he wants to leave. Signing Osimhen sounds more exciting, but because Ivan Toney is Prem proven. Hold on, what's the age difference? That definitely plays a part. Because Ivan Toney's 27, I believe. If Victor's considerably younger, I'll take Victor instead.
24.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, I'll take Victor. What about you?
I haven't seen enough of him play, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't watch enough Italian football.
Yeah.
I barely catch up with the Prem, so yeah.
Brent, what about you? Victor?
I would take them both.
Oh, pick one, my friend.
I would pick Ivan Toney. I think he's Prem proven.
Yeah.
Victor's a goal machine, but he's not necessarily a baller like that as well. You don't want to play football. Ivan's touch is cold. He can bring people into play and stuff like that. He'd be more in keeping with what user was looking for, or what you needed. I think he would complement your team better. Still,
I hear it. I'm not opposed to either, to be fair.
Do you think even with a new signing like that, City are catchable? Because I'm not sure no more. I'm starting to feel like this is a little Bundesliga thing here. But they got 6 wins.
Yeah, right now they seem pretty invincible.
6 out of 6.
Off the back of a treble.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 6.
When we play them, then I'll talk. I want to see how it is to be fair against
When's that,
them.
in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's soon.
But as much as...
Is it Etihad?
No, it's not Emirates.
Okay.
I'll take a draw, to be honest.
You know what it is? I'm still not scared of City in that manner where I feel like it's going to be Bundesliga, where it's going to be buying everything. I don't see it.
Don't see it.
Well, what have they done now? 4 in a row? Or was it 3? Is it going to be their 4th if they win it?
I think this was their 4th, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, this is the
I
third.
think
This is going to be their 4th if they win this one, isn't it?
I believe so.
I think this is what people are moaning about, because it's like the dominance is seen as a little bit different, because I don't know exactly what the years is, but that between 75 and 80 something, Liverpool won it like however many times, 9 times. Between 90 something and the 2000s, Fergie and United won it like 8 times. So we've had dominance before. You know what I'm trying to say? What's the most Liverpool done for 3 in a row? Did United do
United
three
did
in a
three.
row?
Yeah, they did 3 in a
Yeah,
row.
United done
They did
three
3 in a
in
row
a row.
twice, I think.
You know what I'm trying to
The
say?
first 3 in a row still hurts my heart to this day.
I think it's because they're border coming up to four in a row. Like even those times, people would break it up in it. In like the Liverpool era, Everton would come and win it, and or Forest came and won
Yeah.
it, and whatnot. And then United, you got Arsenal pull up, Chelsea will pull up, whatnot. This time round, yeah, because of just the way it's panned out and just the football, like modern day football, the way we're seeing it, we actually can't see past City. Like this might be 4 in a row, which no one's gonna like, yeah. And unless something major happens, there'll probably be odds on for 5 in a row. Like, do you
100%.
get what I'm trying to say? And I just think that's what's rubbing people the wrong way. But I don't think it's City's fault. I think it's on everybody else. The onus should be on everybody else to fix up. You get me?
The only hope I had was when they were threatening them with charges, but I don't think that's going to come to anything. I think the governing bodies ain't got the power
I think
to
the
take them
team
out.
just need to fix up. Arsenal ain't ready for City now. Yeah. If Ivan Toney was in Uzot's team, the way it's currently constructed, they've got something to think about going to the Emirates. You know what I'm trying to say? They've got something to think about. That's a game, or they got a game on their hands, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm trying to say? So everybody just needs to improve their teams up the levels and just close the gap a bit.
But to be fair, our full strength 11 minus injuries.
But who is the full strength 11?
even
Is it with
without-
Havertz?
I mean full strength as in Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Jesus, Saka, Martinelli.
But is that Arteta's first 11 in his mind? Because I don't think it is. I think he wants to play Havertz. And I don't think he's favouring Partey anymore. I don't know.
But remember, the game against Man City in the Community Shield, he started Partey, Rice, and Odegaard.
Okay.
Right, I think that midfield will start against certain teams, and City's definitely one of them. And when I say defense, I mean Timber, Zinchenko, Saliba, Gabriel, and now Ray.
Yeah.
That team, I think that team can give Man City a run,
Hope so.
even without Ivan Toney. That start 11 is cold, man.
Yeah, strong.
Very strong. But unfortunately, because of injuries, we can't see it right now. You know what I mean,
Where are we finishing this season, Michael?
Be controversial. I think we're going to finish third, I'll be honest with you. I think we'll get to the Champions League. I just don't think. I think last year we went on a great run in the beginning and it just kept us going the momentum. I don't see us doing that. But I think we're definitely top 3.
Are you not okay with that though?
Am I not okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got some new players in. They have to bed. Obviously, we have to persist.
I'm not
persist
like
with-
I'm not AFT Arsenal fan where like we've got to win and you know I'm going off my rocker if we don't win the title and stuff like that. Like I get the game what it is right now. It's a money game and City are just unstoppable right now. So yeah, I would like to believe that we could progress and get a trophy. I would like to see us get into the quarterfinals of the Champions League at least. Those are the things that would tell me that we're moving in the right direction. But I'm not going to sit there and say we've got to win the league. And do you know what I mean? I think last season was a very hard season to replicate.
who had the better season last season? Arsenal, Man United.
I gotta say Arsenal. I even though Man United won a trophy, I think Arsenal, from where our expectations were in the beginning of that season, the fact that we thought that we had a chance of winning the league with like 10 games to go,
Yeah.
to me that was a mad thing. And we actually looked like, you know, we're one of the, I won't say one of the best teams in Europe, but we're somewhere there in the top 20 teams in Europe. Because before that, Arteta, we were not.
Yeah.
We were not.
He
You're our
believes,
top team in Europe, man. You're.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why that season was an amazing season. Like it was a proof of concept for Arteta. Because up until then we were like, who's this guy? Like
yeah. He believes United had the best season.
I mean, a trophy's a trophy. I'm not mad at it, but I just think from an Arsenal perspective, I would much rather would have had our season compared to where we started.
Can I break down my theory?
Go on.
In case you ain't seen it.
Go on. I'm guessing these men have heard it before.
So obviously you're sensible. We was both in 4 competitions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
before.
start like that.
What?
Don't start like that.
What?
You're a sensible you.
35 you know.
We was both in 4 competitions. Yeah.
Okay.
Before a ball got kicked. Yeah. Okay, so one of them was the Prem. We both never won nothing in the Prem. Yeah. You finished second. We finished third. I don't know what the gap was.
Was it third or fourth?
It was. We finished third.
We finished fourth.
Newcastle was 4th.
But this is what I don't like about football now. It's just become a stats game.
No, but
So
I'm
you're going to
just-
start quoting numbers at me.
No,
There's an
forget
eye
that.
test.
I don't
We
know
can
numbers.
see.
Forget the eye test. I'm just saying we're playing football in 4 competitions.
Okay, yeah.
All right, cool. So one of them was the Prem. Yeah, you finished second in it. We finished third. None of us won it, but we both got access to European football, Champions League. Yeah, the top tier through the Prem. Yeah, there's that one. Then all right, cool. Then we was in the FA Cup. Yeah, we was both in that. Yeah, we went further than you in the FA Cup. We actually went to the finals. Yeah, the last game possible that you.
But
could
you
play,
didn't win it though.
But we didn't win it. No,
Okay,
but I'm saying
right.
I'm just talking about me and you though.
Okay, yeah.
We had the opportunity to win it. You didn't. We got to the finals. Yeah. So then
But you didn't win it though. So
no,
because you can't go to the Premier League and say that we both didn't win it.
I'm not arguing with the winners because
Okay,
all of us never won.
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Both of us never won that.
Okay,
Both of us
yeah.
never won the Prem. So that's why I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to City.
Okay, yeah.
Both of us was in the FA Cup, but we both never won it. But we got to the finals.
Okay.
Then we was both in the League Cup. Yeah. We won that, and you lot didn't even get to the finals. Then we was both in the Europa. We got further than you in the Europa again. We got to the semi-finals. So like in every competition that we was in all aspects of football, like we outperformed you, apart from in the Premier League, but we both got the same reward for that Premier League thing. So when you add up all of that, overall as a whole, there's no way you lot had a better season than us when we had more cup final experiences. We won something. We actually won something. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
We played football. We played in every competition that we was in that we could physically be in. Like say like in what, February, March. In February, we were still in all competitions. You lot weren't. So again, you're talking about eye test or whatever. Like the proof's in the pudding. Our season, not just our Premier League season, you had a better Premier League season than us. Okay, fine. But our footballing season, the two clubs, United's was better.
I can't agree with that, I'll be honest with you. I hear the point. I can't understand why you might have that perspective, but I just think that's from...
No, but those things are not my opinions. I just broke down the facts to you.
The main fact that you've got is that you won a trophy.
Yeah.
That's the main fact. Because everything else you mentioned, you're like, oh, we got to the final, but we're talking, but you're mentioning what did you win? Those get to the final don't matter. First round of final, it don't matter. You didn't win it. So if we're going to have that perspective, then like...
Say we was both entered the singing competition, yeah? So say we entered the singing competition. In the beginning of the competition, we was both there. There was 1,000 people in there, yeah? I got down to the last 4 semi-finals in this singing competition. You got knocked out in the last 100. 52. Who had a better competition?
Yeah, obviously you.
It's obvious. It's
Yeah.
But what, is it painfully obvious?
No, but that.
But then-
No, I'm just...
But then-
one second.
Hold on.
That isn't
One
people
second.
No, but hold on.
You ain't onto nothing.
But this is the point I'm making. This is the point I'm
onto
making
shit,
with you,
bro.
though. This is the point I'm making. I'm saying to you, because you're trying to discount the fact that the Premier League season, you're saying, yo, we came fourth, you came second, it's all much of a muchness. To me, that's a big difference. Coming second is a move. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you want to start quoting where we got in a competition,
Also,
even though we didn't win
nine
it, to
points
me,
ahead
getting
of you.
second is mad progress. The fact that we had City at least sweating for a minute, to me, that's an exceptional season. And I don't think you guys had an exceptional season. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough, man.
And you're caught in cup competitions where anything could happen on any given day.
You know what? Fair enough, man. It's cool, man.
Liverpool have completely changed their midfield and they're looking good.
Liverpool are back.
They are looking good.
Yeah, they're looking strong.
I'm a little bit scared that this is Liverpool now.
Yeah, they might be back now.
Liverpool are back.
A little bit.
I'm going to have to reserve judgment.
That's why I
on
said
them.
we
need to
come
go
third.
I need to
I think
go
Liverpool
watch
might
a
come
couple of 90
second.
minutes to see exactly what they're doing. That's what I need to go and do now. Because obviously I hate Liverpool, so I try not to watch them. But I need to go watch a couple of 90 minutes to see exactly where they are. But all the noise is sounding...
Who's your biggest rival in your mind? Like, what team do you hate the most as a United fan?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay, so you're a real Man United fan. I genuinely think when Man United fans are more vexed about Arsenal winning, I think those are like they're not the real United fans.
Northerners.
These are the London man them who just like started
That's what
following
I'm
because
saying.
Fergie
Northerners
and
don't
I hear
care.
that to a
Northerners
degree.
don't
Northerners
care.
don't care about
Northerners
Arsenal.
don't care about Arsenal.
Yeah,
Like,
But they
City
Arsenal-
and Liverpool. is
Arsenal
their
fans
ops.
think there's a United Arsenal rivalry because there's so
Oh,
many.
here we go with
London.
this again.
Because there's so many
Here we go with
London
this again.
supporters. There's so many Man United supporters from London.
Here we go with this again.
So that's where we clash, innit?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
obviously we was all in secondary school at the time when
Exactly,
Fergie.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's that rivalry, that
Your
United
play-
Arsenal
your-
rivalry
your-
just exists
your-
in London,
your
just a bubble.
players, okay, cool. So when the players themselves, the Gary Neville, the Roy Keane, the Vieiras,
But they were involved in that era.
when
though.
they talk to you about the rivalry, how can you negate that? They're actually playing the game.
No, but they'll
So
say
what are you
Liverpool's
talking
their
about?
biggest game. They look forward to the
No,
most.
no, I hear that, but he's always said that there's no Arsenal Man United rivalry when the players themselves have referenced this rivalry time and time again.
There was a period in time, a footnote in history.
It's
You know
not.
what I'm
I would say
saying?
there's no rivalry, but it's not the Man United's biggest rivalry. And when I hear Man United fans get more amped up about what Arsenal are doing versus what Liverpool and City, I'm like, you man ain't real Man United.
Yeah,
But
fans.
Arsenal fans, United fans are changing, man. They're
No,
getting
but
worse.
thing
They're getting
is,
bad.
Things can change though, right?
Yeah.
Why can't the Arsenal Man United rivalry?
when you got like
now,
100
in this-
plus year
in this
history of a
stage,
club-
trump the Liverpool thingy?
When you got 100-year plus history of the club, like I don't think you can just say like a decade can change it that quickly.
It's been more than a decade, bro.
You think so? No, when Arsenal
Arsenal
and
Man
United were,
rivalry.
but when we were really neck on neck, that
Yeah.
period where we were challenging them,
Yeah, but
that was about 10 years.
but that disdain still remains.
I hear it, but I just think I know a real Man United fan when I hear them talk about Liverpool and City with that real vim, and I'm like, okay, to me that's a real United fan.
For you, who do you hate most? Spurs or United?
See, this is why I'm gonna be a hypocrite. United.
There you go. He hates Spurs more than us. More than United.
To be honest.
Because Spurs are used
But they've been irrelevant for so long. That's the problem.
Spurs are not our rivals.
They've been irrelevant. They are, but they've been irrelevant. They've been irrelevant, and also I like it how much they hate us. So I like to put them in their place.
You know, it's weird though. I hate Man United more than Spurs, but I'd rather Man United win trophies than Spurs. It's weird. I'd rather see you lot succeed than Spurs, but I hate you lot more. It's weird.
Because Tottenham's like a little brother thing.
You know
if they
what I mean?
overachieve, if they outdo us, it's like, okay, we're really in the mud now if Tottenham are doing it.
Like, I want
my
Tottenham to
lords.
win nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But I hate Man United more.
All right, man. That was lovely discourse, man. Obviously, that was a reaction done at air, rolled into one. Let's get into our outro, people. All right. Well, thanks for pulling up. Great show. Great guest. Thanks for pulling up, man.
Appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
That was dope.
Dope conversation, man.
You don't know the routine, man. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you guys share it. Make sure you subscribe because that's most important. You get what I'm trying to say? Follow us on Spotify as well. All that good stuff. Just go and follow it. Even if you like to listen, just go over there. Find the day after. Just give us a little follow, man. All helps with the algorithms. If you want to get involved in the chat or in our segments, asking for a friend, all of these things, there's a number. I found it. It's 07. It's 07564 841 073. Or there's an email address you can send your dilemmas to. That's the day after at thenewblack.com. Black is spelt with an X, not an A. And that's about it, innit? We'll be here similar time, same place.
Tomorrow as well.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, we've got a guest.
We've got a guest tomorrow as well? Oh, great.
Siman's best friend, by the way.
Yeah, E-Man's best friend's putting up tomorrow, so this should be interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's right wing.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow still.
Is he right wing?
Man, like,
You'll see the type of company Emmanuel keeps on the
right
regular.
wing, he's every wing. He's got, got better wings, cuz.
Oh, man.
All right, well, cool people, man. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Peace, man.
Peace.